Today I will share with you some life-changing philosophy. Before we start, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, comment where are you watching from and at what time you are watching. Have a nice sleep. Imagine living in a world where your happiness isn't tethered to the affection you receive from others, where the longing glances, the missed calls, and the thinking of you messages don't define your emotional state. This is not a tale from ancient history, but a reality that you can live in today. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has survived the test of time, teaches us exactly that. It empowers us to find inner peace and happiness regardless of our external circumstances. But how does this relate to wanting someone to miss you? Well, in the realm of love and relationships, we often find ourselves craving the attention and affection of others, believing that this external validation is the key to our happiness. Yet Stoicism introduces a counterintuitive approach by focusing on self-improvement, fostering emotional independence, and appreciating the present moment without attachment. We inadvertently become more attractive, and ironically, more likely to be missed. In today's video, we dive deep into the Stoic way of living and loving. How, by embracing the principles of Stoicism, we can not only enrich our lives, but also transform our relationships in the most unexpected ways. Stay with me as we explore how to make them miss you, not by playing games or strategizing your every move, but by becoming a beacon of self-sufficiency and contentment. And as always, your support means the world to us. A simple yet impactful way you can help is by hitting that subscribe button. It's a small gesture that goes a long way. Please stay with us throughout the entire video, as every part has been carefully crafted to guide you toward a more fulfilling and stoic way of living. In our quest for happiness and fulfillment, it's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of seeking external validation. We often measure our worth by the reactions, opinions, and attention we receive from others, especially in the realm of personal relationships. But what if I told you there's a more empowering, enduring path to happiness? The Stoic path teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while accepting what we cannot control, which includes the feelings and behaviors of others. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or emotionless. Rather, it's about recognizing that true contentment and self-worth come from within, not from someone else's approval or attention. Think about it. When we hinge our happiness on being missed or desired by someone, we give away our power. We become reactive to their actions or lack thereof, which can lead to a roller coaster of emotions. Stoicism, however, offers us the tools to step off this ride. By cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation, we build a strong, resilient character that finds joy in self-growth and personal achievements. This doesn't mean we should isolate ourselves or stop caring about others. Stoicism doesn't advocate for emotional detachment, but for emotional resilience. It encourages us to form healthy, meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, not on neediness or dependency. Moreover, by prioritizing self-improvement, we naturally become more intriguing and attractive to others. People are drawn to individuals who are confident, passionate about their pursuits, and content with themselves. So, ironically, the less we focus on making someone miss us, the more likely it is to happen, because we're living our best, most authentic lives. So, let's start shifting our focus from seeking validation to nurturing our inner world. Let's invest time in learning new skills, exploring new hobbies, and deepening our understanding of who we are and what we stand for. This journey of self-improvement is not only fulfilling in itself, but also makes us more admirable, and yes, missable, in the eyes of others. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to suppress our desires or deny our need for connection, but to remind us that our happiness and worth are not dependent on them. By anchoring ourselves in the principles of Stoicism, we can enjoy a life of peace, satisfaction, and true independence. So let's embrace the Stoic way, focusing on self-improvement and finding joy within ourselves, because that is where true happiness lies. At the heart of Stoicism is the understanding that our reactions to external events are within our control, even if the events themselves are not. This principle is incredibly empowering. It means that we hold the key to our emotional state, granting us a level of independence that's liberating. Emotional resilience, according to Stoicism, isn't about numbing ourselves to feelings or detaching from the world around us. Instead, it's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and deciding not to let them dictate our actions. The Stoics believed in focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. This isn't just a strategy for personal peace. It's a roadmap to emotional resilience. When we stop allowing external factors like the actions of others or societal pressures to influence our well-being, we cultivate a sense of independence that's both profound and practical. This independence doesn't mean isolation. On the contrary, it enables us to engage with the world from a place of strength and self-assurance. Consider the concept of emotional resilience in the context of relationships. Stoicism teaches us that while we can love and care for others, our happiness shouldn't hinge on their presence or approval. This perspective encourages us to build relationships on the foundation of mutual respect and genuine connection, rather than dependency or fear of loneliness. By fostering emotional resilience, we become capable of enjoying deep, meaningful relationships without losing ourselves in them. Furthermore, Stoicism's emphasis on living according to nature, accepting life's ebb and flow, reinforces our emotional resilience. It reminds us that change is the only constant, and that our ability to adapt to this change is a measure of our strength. This adaptability doesn't come from a place of passivity, but from active engagement with our values, goals, and the pursuit of virtue. So, how do we cultivate this independence and emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness, regularly reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and responses to life's challenges. It involves practicing gratitude, focusing on the present moment, and engaging in activities that align with our core values. And crucially, it requires us to challenge our perceptions, asking ourselves whether our emotional responses are based on current realities or outdated beliefs. In embracing Stoicism, we learn to navigate life's storms, not by seeking shelter in others, but by becoming our own lighthouse. This journey towards independence and emotional resilience is not a solitary one. It's enriched by the wisdom of those who walked this path before us. As we incorporate Stoic principles into our lives, we find that our capacity for joy, our strength in adversity, and our ability to maintain balanced relationships all grow exponentially. The Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus often spoke about the importance of living a life aligned with one's own nature and the nature of the universe. This, at its core, is about recognizing what truly matters in life and dedicating ourselves to it. For the Stoics, meaning is found not in external successes or the accumulation of wealth and accolades, but in the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and integrity. It's about contributing to the common good, engaging in community, and developing relationships based on respect and understanding. Creating a meaningful life, then, involves a deep dive into our inner selves, asking hard questions about who we are and what we stand for. It requires us to identify our values and to live by them, even when faced with challenges, or when it would be easier to simply go with the flow of societal expectations. Stoicism offers a compass in this introspection, urging us to consider not just our actions, but the intentions behind them. Are we acting out of virtue, or are we motivated by a desire for external validation? Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the impermanence of external conditions and the importance of focusing on what remains within our control. This perspective is liberating. It frees us from the tyranny of trying to control the uncontrollable and directs our energies toward where we can truly make a difference, our own attitudes, choices, and responses to the world around us. In this way, creating a meaningful life is less about what we achieve and more about how we live and the mindset with which we approach our days. Embracing a Stoic approach to life also means accepting that suffering and setbacks are natural parts of the human experience. Instead of perceiving them as obstacles to our happiness, we can view them as opportunities for growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of the complexities of life. This doesn't mean we seek out suffering, but rather that we find meaning in overcoming it, learning from it, and moving forward with a strengthened spirit and a more compassionate heart. In practice, creating a meaningful life involves small daily acts as much as it does grand gestures. It's found in the kindness we show to others, the integrity with which we conduct our work, and the passion we bring to our pursuits. It's in the moments we take to reflect on our place in the universe, to appreciate nature, to engage in acts of self-care, and to foster connections with others. These acts, grounded in Stoic principles, weave together to form a tapestry of a life well lived. Let's remember, the Stoic journey towards a meaningful life is not a solitary endeavor. It's a path we walk together, supporting each other through shared wisdom and experiences. By anchoring our lives in Stoicism, we equip ourselves with the tools not just to face life's challenges, but to thrive amidst them, finding joy, purpose, and meaning in every step of the journey. The Stoics recognized early on that much of our frustration, anxiety, and even despair stems from our insistence on controlling the uncontrollable. We often expend tremendous energy trying to shape circumstances, outcomes, and even other people to our will, only to find that much of it is beyond our reach. This realization isn't meant to dishearten us. Instead, it's intended to free us from self-imposed chains that bind us to unattainable expectations. Embracing Stoicism's guidance on relinquishing the desire for control doesn't mean we become passive observers of our own lives. Rather, it's about focusing our efforts on the arena where we can indeed make a difference, our internal world. It's in the realm of our perceptions, decisions, and reactions that we hold genuine sway. Here we can cultivate virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. Here we can find peace. Letting go of control, according to Stoic philosophy, involves a deep acceptance of the natural flow of events. It's about understanding the difference between our efforts and their outcomes, recognizing that while we can strive to influence the former, the latter often falls outside our direct influence. This doesn't negate the value of effort. It merely places it in a healthier perspective. When we align our actions with our values and detach from specific outcomes, we engage with life more wholly and authentically. Moreover, this Stoic teaching encourages us to view each moment as an opportunity to practice acceptance and grow in wisdom. It invites us to question our deep-seated beliefs about control, success, and security. In doing so, we often discover that our true strength lies not in exerting control over the external world, but in mastering our inner landscape. In practical terms, letting go of the desire for control means embracing flexibility and adaptability. It means being open to the unexpected, finding the courage to face uncertainties with a calm mind and an open heart. It's about learning to respond to life's challenges with grace, viewing them as opportunities for personal growth and self-discovery. As we incorporate this Stoic principle into our lives, we find that our relationships deepen, our stress levels decrease, and our appreciation for the present moment increases. We begin to understand that control is not the key to happiness. Balance, acceptance, and inner harmony are. Letting go of our desire for control, as taught by Stoicism, is not about relinquishing our power, but rather about reclaiming it in its most potent form. It's a journey toward inner freedom, marked by a profound transformation in how we perceive and interact with the world. Have you ever felt like a small boat, adrift in the vast ocean of social connections, yearning to be anchored in the hearts and minds of those around you? In this whirlwind of digital connectivity, where thousands of voices clamor for attention, it's easy to feel lost, unnoticed, and undervalued. But what if I told you that there's a timeless philosophy that can be your compass, guiding you to become not just another face in the crowd, but someone who truly matters to those around you? Welcome to a journey where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we're diving deep into the art of making yourself a priority in others' lives, not through manipulation or games, but through the profound and authentic principles of Stoicism. Stay with me as we explore how to be a beacon in the sea of relationships, shining brightly enough to be seen, valued, and cherished. And if you're ready to unlock these secrets, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, share this video with your circle, and stay tuned until the end for every insightful moment. Because every second of this journey could be the key to transforming your relationship. Step 1. Context and problem. In our quest for significance in the complex tapestry of social relationships, we frequently encounter a disheartening imbalance, a pervasive sense that we hold others in higher regard than they do us. This perception, often shadowed by the disquieting feeling of being undervalued, leads us to a profound exploration of self-worth. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rich in wisdom, offers us a beacon of guidance in this regard. The Stoic philosophy, rooted in the teachings of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, emphasizes an internal locus of control. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, profoundly observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement echoes the Stoic belief that true worth and contentment arise not from external validation, but from within. It's a reminder that our value does not depend on the whims or perceptions of others, but on our own self-perception and inner resilience. Seneca, another stalwart of Stoicism, accentuated the importance of self-reliance and inner fortitude. He eloquently stated, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This insight underscores the necessity of self-awareness and having a clear understanding of our own values and goals. In the context of our social relationships, it suggests that knowing ourselves and our worth is the first step in being valued appropriately by others. Epictetus, with his emphasis on the dichotomy of control, reinforces this Stoic approach. He argued that we must focus on what is within our power, our responses, our attitudes, and our actions, and let go of our concern over how others perceive us. This detachment from external validation is liberating and empowers us to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is independent of others' opinions. The Stoic approach to finding worth within oneself resonates with contemporary psychological theories as well. Carl Jung, a pivotal figure in the field of psychology, once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This aligns with the Stoic principle of authentic living, the idea that true value and happiness are found in living in accordance with one's own nature and virtues. Step 2. Solution and application. In this exploration of strengthening our significance in the lives of others, we turn to the rich wellspring of Stoicism and the broader landscape of philosophical thought for practical methods. The focus here is not on manipulation or superficial tactics, but rather on fostering a wise and sincere approach to building authentic, high-value relationships. At the heart of Stoicism lies the wisdom of understanding and controlling what is within our power. As Epictetus famously stated, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." In the context of relationships, this means focusing on our actions, reactions, and the genuine nature of our interactions with others. By doing so, we enhance the quality of our presence in others' lives, making it more likely for them to genuinely value and appreciate us. Marcus Aurelius, another renowned Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of authenticity in our interactions. He advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This speaks to the core of forming high-value relationships, being genuine, kind, and true to our principles in all our interactions. By embodying the virtues we admire, we naturally attract people who value these qualities, thereby establishing a foundation for meaningful and enduring relationships. Furthermore, Seneca's teachings on the brevity of life and the importance of living in accordance with nature remind us to value the time we spend with others. He said, "Life, if well lived, is long enough." This underscores the idea of being fully present and engaged in our interactions, making every moment count. By bringing our full attention and sincerity to our relationships, we signal to others that they are important to us, inviting a reciprocal appreciation and deepening of the bond. The application of these Stoic principles is also reflected in the broader philosophical context. Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, or flourishing, is achieved through virtuous activities that constitute a life well lived. In the realm of relationships, this translates to engaging in interactions that are mutually enriching, honest, and respectful. By striving for personal excellence in how we treat others, we cultivate relationships that are not only valuable, but also contribute to our overall well-being and fulfillment. Carl Jung's insights into the psyche further illuminate this approach. He believed in the power of individuation, the process of becoming aware of oneself and the world around us. Jung stated, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This perspective encourages us to engage in relationships as whole, self-aware individuals, capable of profound connections that transform and enrich both parties. Step 3. Stoic principle, the Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in the wisdom of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, provides profound insight into the nature of relationships and self-worth. The saying, "Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are," reflects not just the impact of our social circle on our identity, but also the significance of reciprocity in relationships. Stoicism encourages us to examine these dynamics closely, particularly the value we assign to ourselves and how this is reflected in our interactions with others. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, emphasized the importance of self-reflection in understanding one's value in relationships. He believed in looking inward to find true worth rather than seeking validation externally. Aurelius famously said, "The value of a man is measured by the value he places on himself." This highlights the Stoic principle that our self-worth should not be excessively dependent on others' perceptions or priorities. Instead, it should be grounded in our own understanding of our value and contribution. Seneca, another key Stoic figure, spoke about the balance between being social beings and maintaining our independence. He advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." This suggests choosing relationships that are mutually beneficial and uplifting, rather than being in ones where we feel undervalued or neglected. Seneca's guidance implies that being needy or overly dependent on others for our sense of self-worth can lead to unfulfilling relationships. Instead, we should cultivate relationships that encourage mutual growth and respect. Epictetus, known for his teachings on control and acceptance, also touches upon this subject. He said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Applying this to relationships, it means understanding that we may not always be a priority for others, and that's okay. What we can control is how we respond to this realization and how we value ourselves in these dynamics. Western philosophy and psychology echo these sentiments. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, where virtue lies in finding a balance, in this case between valuing oneself and valuing others in a relationship. Carl Jung, a prominent psychologist, emphasized the importance of individuation, where understanding and integrating aspects of oneself leads to personal growth and healthier relationships. Step 4. Practical actions in the quest to be more valued in our relationships. Stoicism offers a pragmatic and dignified approach centered around the management of our presence and availability. This philosophy, deeply rooted in the wisdom of luminaries like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, provides guidance on how to navigate our social interactions with grace and intention. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, highlighted the importance of valuing one's time and presence. He taught that time is one of the few things under our control in a world governed by fate and external circumstances. By judiciously managing our availability, we signal to others the value of our time and, in turn, increase our own worth in their eyes. Aurelius believed in the principle of purposeful action, which includes making conscious decisions about when and how to engage with others. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment. He advised that we should be selective with our company and time. Seneca's teachings suggest that by occasionally withdrawing our presence, we allow others to appreciate our value more fully. He wrote, "True happiness is to be free from the yoke of our own desires and to be able to relax and lay aside our anxiety. This relaxation includes not succumbing to the need for constant social validation and understanding the power of absence in enhancing our relationships." Epictetus, a Greek Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control. He said, "Only the educated are free." In the context of relationships, this education involves understanding that we have the power to manage our time and attention. By controlling our availability, we assert our freedom and self-respect, which, in turn, leads others to value and respect us more. Western philosophy and psychology also support these Stoic principles. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, advocating for a balance in all things. In terms of social interactions, this means finding a middle ground between being overly available and completely inaccessible. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, emphasized the importance of individuation, which involves understanding and integrating one's own needs and boundaries. This self-awareness leads to healthier interactions where one's time and presence are valued. In practical terms, to be more valued by others, we can start by judiciously managing our availability. It's not about playing games or being elusive, but about respecting our own time and teaching others to do the same. By occasionally allowing people to miss us, we create a healthy dynamic where our presence is appreciated and sought after. Remember, it's not about controlling others or the outcomes of our relationships, but about managing our own actions and choices with wisdom and dignity. Step 5. Developing patience. In Stoic philosophy, the concept of patience is elevated to an art form, a crucial skill for thriving amidst life's perpetual turmoil. This perspective, deeply embedded in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, resonates with timeless relevance. Marcus Aurelius, renowned for his meditative reflections, saw patience as a form of inner fortress. He believed that our inner peace should not be at the mercy of external events. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This statement encapsulates the Stoic essence of patience. It's not about waiting idly for circumstances to change, but about maintaining a composed and resilient mindset, regardless of what life throws our way. Seneca, another luminary in Stoic thought, echoed similar sentiments. He viewed patience as a conscious resistance against the rushing tides of life, a means of maintaining dignity and grace under pressure. The greatest remedy for anger is delay, Seneca advised, suggesting that patience is a deliberate choice to pause and reflect rather than react impulsively. This approach is far from passive. It's an active engagement with our emotional landscape, mastering our impulses in favor of thoughtful responses. Epictetus, known for his practical wisdom, placed great emphasis on the dichotomy of control, teaching that while we cannot control external events, we have absolute power over our reactions. Patience, from this viewpoint, is a manifestation of this control, a serene assertion of our ability to endure and persevere. No man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus asserted, highlighting that true freedom comes from self-mastery, of which patience is a vital component. From a broader Western philosophical and psychological perspective, patience aligns with the ideals of emotional regulation and resilience. Aristotle's concept of the golden mean advocates for a balanced approach to life, suggesting that patience is a midpoint between passive inaction and rash impulsiveness. Carl Jung's focus on individuation, the process of becoming aware of oneself, aligns with the Stoic practice of patience. By understanding and managing our emotions, we attain a level of self-awareness and maturity that enhances our interactions with others and our environment. In contemporary terms, practicing patience means embracing the present moment without being overwhelmed by the desire for immediate results or responses. It's about maintaining composure in a fast-paced, often chaotic world. This quality makes us more attractive to others because it exudes confidence and stability. People are naturally drawn to those who display calmness and resilience in the face of adversity. Step 6. Self-prioritization. In the realm of Stoicism, the practice of self-prioritization is not just encouraged but seen as a necessary aspect of a balanced life. This notion finds echoes across various Western philosophical and psychological thoughts, emphasizing the importance of valuing oneself to be valued by others. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, highlighted the significance of self-regard. He famously stated, "If you do not have respect for yourself, no one else will." This quote underscores the Stoic belief that self-respect is the cornerstone of how others perceive and treat us. When we prioritize our needs and learn to say no, we communicate to others that our time and energy are precious and deserve respect. Seneca, another Stoic thinker, argued for the virtue of self-care. He believed that caring for oneself is essential to living a fulfilled life. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it, Seneca wrote, implying that failing to prioritize ourselves leads to a wasted life. By saying no when necessary, we manage our resources wisely and lead a life of quality, not just in terms of time, but in our relationships and endeavors. Epictetus emphasized the concept of control, particularly over our actions and choices. He taught it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This idea is crucial in understanding self-prioritization. When we choose to prioritize our own needs, we are actively deciding how to react to the demands of others, thereby maintaining control over our lives. From a broader psychological perspective, Carl Jung's concept of individuation aligns with this Stoic practice. Jung believed in the importance of understanding oneself as an individual, separate from the collective. Prioritizing oneself is a step toward achieving this individuation, leading to a stronger, more defined personality that commands respect and importance from others. Aristotle's notion of the golden mean, the desirable middle between two extremes, also supports the idea of self-prioritization. Aristotle taught that virtue lies in finding balance, which includes balancing our own needs with the needs of others. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, but a practice of maintaining this balance. By applying these Stoic and philosophical principles, we learn that prioritizing ourselves is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step toward being valued and respected by others. It teaches us to manage our personal resources effectively and sets a standard for how others should treat us. When we demonstrate that we value our own time and efforts, we naturally inspire others to do the same. This act of self-respect not only benefits our mental and emotional well-being, but also enhances our social and professional relationships. Step 7. Time management. In the teachings of Seneca, a luminary in the Stoic school of philosophy, we find profound insights on the wise use of time, a concept that resonates deeply in both ancient wisdom and contemporary thought. Seneca's perspective on time management is not just about efficiency or productivity, it's about the quality of life and making conscious, meaningful choices. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, famously stated, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements, if it were all well invested." This quote encapsulates the Stoic view that time, once lost, is something we can never regain. Therefore, Seneca urges us to be selective with whom we spend our time and how we spend it, emphasizing that our time is a precious and limited resource that should be used wisely and purposefully. This Stoic principle aligns with the thoughts of Aristotle, who believed in the importance of pursuing activities that enrich our soul. Aristotle taught that eudaimonia, or flourishing, is the highest good for human beings, and this can only be achieved by living a life of virtue and engaging in activities that fulfill our true nature. By managing our time wisely, we can devote more of it to activities that contribute to our personal growth and happiness. Plato, another great philosopher, also touched on the importance of self-reflection and personal growth. He believed that an unexamined life is not worth living. In this context, the wise management of time includes periods of introspection and contemplation, allowing us to understand ourselves and our place in the world better. From a psychological standpoint, Carl Jung's concept of individuation further supports the idea of wise time management. Jung emphasized the importance of personal development and self-realization. By choosing how we spend our time, we can engage in activities that contribute to our personal and psychological growth. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, also stressed the importance of focusing on what is within our control. He taught that we should not squander our time on things beyond our control, but instead focus on our actions and choices. This approach to time management is about making conscious decisions that reflect our values and goals. Step 8. Autonomy. Epictetus, a philosopher renowned for his profound insights into the nature of happiness and the good life, presents a compelling argument about the essence of true freedom. His assertion, "No man is free who is not master of himself," encapsulates a fundamental principle of personal autonomy and self-mastery. This concept, deeply rooted in Epicurean philosophy, emphasizes the importance of controlling our decisions and emotions as a pathway to enhancing our self-worth and autonomy. Epicurus's philosophy, though distinct from Stoicism, shares the conviction that inner peace and freedom stem from self-governance. He believed that pleasure, understood as the absence of pain and disturbance, is achieved through simple living, the cultivation of personal virtues, and the management of desires. This perspective encourages us to reflect on our emotional responses and decision-making processes, suggesting that true freedom is found not in external circumstances, but in how we manage our internal states. This idea resonates with the Stoic teachings of Epictetus, who famously said, "We are disturbed not by events, but by the views which we take of them." Epictetus emphasizes that our perception of events, more than the events themselves, determines our peace of mind. This Stoic view aligns with Epicurus's emphasis on internal mastery as the key to freedom. From a broader philosophical perspective, Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, or flourishing, is achieved through the exercise of virtue and rationality, echoing the sentiment of self-mastery. Aristotle believed that living according to reason and virtue leads to the highest form of happiness, a state that is closely linked to having control over one's actions and emotions. In the realm of psychology, Carl Jung's emphasis on individuation, the process of becoming aware of one's self, aligns with this idea. Jung believed that becoming conscious of our inner world and integrating different aspects of our personality leads to psychological wholeness and autonomy. This process involves understanding and managing our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, much like what Epictetus and the Stoics advocate. Plato's philosophy also underscores the importance of self-governance. In his dialogues, Plato often explores the theme of ruling oneself as a precondition for ruling others. He suggests that self-mastery and the ability to govern one's passions and impulses are essential for a harmonious and virtuous life. Have you ever felt like you're the one holding yourself back? You set a goal, make a plan, and for a while you truly believe this time will be different. But then life throws you off course. A distraction here, a temptation there, and before you know it, you're back where you started, wondering if you will ever get the hang of discipline. That frustration is real, and you're not alone in feeling it. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't about being perfect or pushing yourself to the limit every day. It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your fears, and your habits, and aligning them with what truly matters to you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics believed that true discipline isn't a burden. It's a form of freedom. It gives you the ability to act with purpose, no matter what chaos is happening around you. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 9 Stoic secrets that can change how you think about discipline. These timeless principles have helped warriors, philosophers, and leaders for centuries. They're not quick tricks or fleeting trends. They're enduring lessons designed to help you build a strong, steady foundation from within. Let's dive in. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more powerful insights like this. Let's begin. Number 1. Master the art of delayed gratification. The hardest battles are the ones no one sees. They happen in your mind. In the moments when you're faced with a choice, chase instant pleasure or hold out for something greater. It's tempting to take the easy route, to scroll on your phone instead of working on your goals, to eat the junk food instead of cooking a meal, or to spend money now instead of saving for the future. These small decisions may feel harmless in the moment, but over time, they add up. They either build you into someone strong and disciplined, or keep you stuck in the same frustrating cycle. The Stoics believed that resisting immediate gratification wasn't just an exercise in self-control, it was a path to ataraxia, or inner calm. When you stop chasing fleeting pleasures, you free yourself from their hold. You stop letting external desires dictate your actions, and you gain the mental strength to prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about deprivation or denying yourself joy. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. Think of discipline like planting a tree. When you plant the seed, there's no immediate reward. The soil looks the same, the seed is hidden, and nothing seems to change. But day by day, as you water it and tend to it, the roots grow stronger. Eventually, the tree breaks through the soil, and over time it flourishes into something remarkable. Delayed gratification works the same way. If you may not see the results right away, but every choice to delay pleasure is like watering the seed of your future success. Practicing delayed gratification doesn't mean you have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Try introducing micro-delays into your daily routine. For example, the next time you crave a snack, wait 5 minutes before indulging. If you feel the urge to check your phone during work, finish one task first. These small acts of resistance may seem insignificant, but they train your mind to pause, reflect, and prioritize what's important. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a lifestyle. You start to realize that the momentary discomfort of waiting is far outweighed by the satisfaction of achieving something meaningful. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing you can endure temporary sacrifices for long-term growth. Discipline isn't about never giving yourself a break or denying joy. It's about learning to wait for what truly matters. It's about understanding that the best things in life often take time to grow. Mastering the art of delayed gratification is hard, but the rewards, they last a lifetime. Number 2, understand the why. Why do you want to be disciplined? That's the question most people skip when they decide to get their life together. They jump straight to the how, creating routines, downloading productivity apps, or reading the latest self-help book. But without understanding the why, discipline becomes aimless. It turns into a grueling, unsustainable grind that fizzles out as soon as motivation wears off. The truth is, you can't build discipline around nothing. You need a purpose, a reason to keep showing up when the excitement fades. The Stoics called this telos, or your ultimate purpose. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit down to write meditations because it was trendy or because someone told him to. He did it because he believed in living according to his values: courage, wisdom, self-control, and justice. For him, discipline wasn't about checking boxes. It was about becoming the kind of person who could withstand life's storms with grace and strength. Without that deeper connection to purpose, discipline feels hollow, like steering a ship in circles because you don't know where you're going. Think of that ship for a moment. Out on the open ocean, the waves are relentless, the wind unpredictable. A captain without a clear destination would be lost, burning precious time and resources with no end in sight. Now, think of your life. If you don't know where you're heading, what truly matters to you, how can you expect to stay disciplined when the waters get rough? This is why understanding your why is the foundation of extreme discipline. It's not enough to say, "I want to be successful," or "I need to lose weight." Those are surface-level goals. Dig deeper. Ask yourself, what does success really mean to me? Why does it matter? Maybe it's about providing security for your family or proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's about honoring your health so you can live longer and be there for the people you love. Whatever it is, it needs to resonate deeply. It needs to matter to you more than the discomfort of staying disciplined. I'd like you to try this simple but powerful exercise to get started. Grab a notebook and write down your core values. What principles guide you? What kind of person do you want to be? Then, list your long-term goals. Be specific. Instead of get in shape, write, run a 10K by the end of the year because it will make me stronger and healthier. Instead of save money, try build an emergency fund to create stability and reduce stress for my family. The more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to align your actions with your purpose. Discipline without purpose is exhausting, but discipline fueled by a clear why, that's unstoppable. When you know what you're working toward and why it matters, every step, even the hard ones, becomes meaningful. That's where the real power lies. Number 3, build small, consistent habits. Discipline isn't about making one dramatic change. It's not a giant leap or an overnight transformation. Real discipline is built through small, steady steps. Actions so simple, they almost feel insignificant at first. But over time, those small actions compound, shaping who you are in ways you can't see right away. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus reminded us to focus on what's within our power, not on chasing perfection. He said, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. The point isn't to be flawless, it's to keep moving forward, one deliberate choice at a time. Trying to overhaul your entire life in a single moment is overwhelming and unsustainable. But starting small, that's achievable. That's sustainable. Let's take a single drop of water hitting a rock. On its own, it seems like nothing. A drop is too small, too soft to make any difference. But over time, those drops wear the rock down, carving it into something new. Habits work the same way. Each small action, each drop, might seem trivial in the moment, but they build momentum and create change. The key is consistency. Start with one habit, just one. Make it so simple that it's almost impossible to fail. For example, if you want to write every day, commit to journaling for 2 minutes. Not an hour, not even 15 minutes, just 2. If your goal is to exercise, begin with 5 push-ups or a short walk around the block. The goal is not to do something monumental. It's to prove to yourself that you can show up. Once that habit feels natural, build on it. 2 minutes of journaling might turn into 5, then 10. A walk around the block might lead to running a mile. This is how discipline grows, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent actions that align with your values. And on the days when it feels like your efforts aren't making a difference, remind yourself of the water and the rock. Change is happening, even if you can't see it yet. The Stoics didn't chase perfection, and neither should you. Instead, focus on progress, on doing what's within your power today, no matter how small it seems. Each habit you build is a step toward the person you want to become, and when you string enough of those steps together, you realize just how far you've come. That's the quiet, steady power of discipline. Number 4, embrace discomfort. Discipline doesn't grow in comfort. It thrives in the moments when you willingly step into the hard, the uncertain, and the uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to seek ease, air conditioning on hot days, instant food when we're hungry, distractions at the first sign of boredom. But the truth is that the more you avoid discomfort, the weaker your resilience becomes. And resilience is the backbone of discipline. The Stoics understood this better than most. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, often practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare his mind and body for life's inevitable challenges. He would eat simple meals, wear rough clothing, and expose himself to situations far beneath his wealth and status. Why? Because he believed that when you can willingly endure discomfort, you gain control over your fears. You realize that the things you dread aren't as terrible as they seem, and that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think of life as a blacksmith's forge. A piece of raw metal isn't strong or useful on its own. It has to be heated, hammered, and shaped to become a blade that can cut through anything. The same goes for you. Each time you step into discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you're refining yourself. You're building a stronger, sharper version of who you are. But embracing discomfort doesn't mean you have to throw yourself into extreme challenges overnight. Start small and let it build. Take a cold shower for a minute every morning. Push yourself to speak up in a meeting where you'd normally stay silent. Commit to finishing that one task you've been avoiding, even if it feels overwhelming. Each act of discomfort is like striking the forge, slowly shaping you into something stronger. And here is the beauty of this practice. Discomfort loses its power over you. What once felt unbearable becomes routine. The cold shower that shocked your body on day 1 becomes refreshing by day 10. The fear of failure that kept you from trying fades when you realize you're still standing after a setback. Every step into discomfort proves that you are capable of more than you thought. Number 5. Control your environment. Discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about strategy. If you rely solely on mental strength to resist every temptation, you'll eventually burn out. The smarter approach? Shape your environment so that it works for you, not against you. When your surroundings align with your goals, discipline becomes less of a battle and more of a natural flow. The Stoics emphasized the importance of minimizing external chaos to maintain inner tranquility. Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This wasn't just about ignoring criticism, but about stripping away distractions and unnecessary influences that pull you away from what matters. In today's world, distractions come in endless forms: cluttered spaces, constant notifications, and social media feeds designed to steal your attention. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're barriers to focus, discipline, and peace of mind. Take a look at your physical environment. Is your desk piled with papers and random items that distract you? A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. By tidying up and organizing your surroundings, you're not just making things look nicer. You're creating a space where discipline can thrive. The same goes for your digital world. Notifications, endless scrolling, and an overflowing inbox are modern distractions that drain your energy. A digital detox, turning off notifications, setting app limits, or dedicating tech-free hours can restore your focus and help you regain control. Think of your environment as a foundation for success. You wouldn't plant a garden in rocky, nutrient-deprived soil and expect it to flourish. The same applies to discipline. You need to create conditions where it can grow. That might mean decluttering your workspace, setting up a designated area for focused work, or even rearranging your living space to reflect your goals. Small changes, like keeping your phone in another room during work hours or prepping your gym clothes the night before, can have a massive impact on your ability to stay disciplined. It's also about setting boundaries. If your environment includes people or situations that constantly derail your focus, it's time to reassess. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but rather being intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, and set firm limits with those who don't. You can't always control the chaos of the world, but you can control what you invite into your personal environment. By decluttering, limiting distractions, and setting clear boundaries, you make discipline less of a struggle and more of a habit. As the Stoics taught, tranquility begins within, but it's nurtured by what you choose to surround yourself with. Number 6. Detach from outcomes. True discipline isn't about what you achieve. It's about the act of showing up again and again, regardless of the results. In a world that constantly measures success by external milestones like hitting a fitness goal, landing a promotion, or gaining recognition, it's easy to tie your efforts to outcomes. But when you focus solely on results, You hand over your peace of mind to things outside your control. And when those results don't come as quickly as you hoped, frustration, doubt, and burnout take over. The Stoics had a better way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For the Stoics, the process mattered far more than the result. You can't always control the outcome of your efforts, but you can control the effort itself. Did you put in the work? Did you stay consistent? That's where your focus should be. Discipline isn't a guarantee of success. It's a commitment to the process, regardless of what happens next. Think about modern challenges like fitness or career growth. It's easy to obsess over the number on a scale or the size of your paycheck. But those outcomes are often influenced by factors you can't predict. Genetics, market conditions, timing. If you measure your discipline by these external markers, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, shift your attention to the process. Did you stick to your workout plan? Did you give your best effort at work today? These are the questions that truly matter, because they keep the focus on what you can control. You can start by tracking your effort instead of your outcomes. If you're working toward a fitness goal, create a habit tracker where you check off each day you complete your workout or meal prep. Don't worry about the scale. Worry about whether you showed up. If you're chasing a career goal, keep a journal of the steps you're taking, the calls you made, the skills you learned, the hours you put in. Celebrate the process, not just the results. When you detach from outcomes, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start viewing them as part of the journey. Every step you take becomes valuable, not because of where it leads, but because of what it builds within you. Resilience, consistency, and strength. The world may tell you that success is measured by what you achieve, but the Stoics knew better. Success is measured by how you live, by the choices you make, the effort you give, and the discipline you build along the way. Let go of the outcomes. Focus on the process. That's where the real growth happens. Number 7. Reflect and reset daily. Discipline isn't something you set and forget. It's a daily commitment, refined and strengthened through reflection. Without taking time to pause and look inward, your actions can become mechanical, disconnected from your purpose. True discipline comes from understanding yourself, your progress, your setbacks, and the lessons each day brings. The simplest way to do that is through daily reflection. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most disciplined leaders, documented his reflections and meditations. These writings weren't for anyone else, they were for himself, a way to evaluate his actions, realign with his principles, and prepare for the challenges ahead. He didn't dwell on his mistakes or pat himself on the back for his successes. Instead, he used journaling as a tool to deepen his self-awareness and stay grounded in his values. Reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about looking forward. By taking a few minutes each day to review your choices, you build a clearer picture of where you're excelling and where you need to improve. Over time, this practice sharpens your self-awareness, helping you identify patterns and make adjustments. It's like checking your compass on a long journey. Even if you veered off course, a quick recalibration ensures you're heading in the right direction. Start small with your daily reflection. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day to sit with your thoughts or write them down. If you're unsure where to begin, use simple prompts. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? What can I improve tomorrow? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Maybe you stayed focused on your goals today, or maybe distractions got the better of you. Both outcomes are valuable. If you learn from them, the act of reflecting allows you to reset with intention and avoid carrying unnecessary baggage into the next day. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about understanding why you're doing it. Reflection connects your daily actions to your deeper purpose. It reminds you of your values and keeps you aligned with them, even when life gets chaotic and when you stumble, and you will, because discipline isn't flawless. Reflection gives you the clarity to get back on track. without guilt or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius showed us, reflection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's where discipline is renewed and strengthened. By taking the time to reflect and reset each day, you're not just maintaining discipline, you're mastering it. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Then use that answer to make tomorrow just a little better. Number 8. Surround yourself with disciplined people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on who you become. Discipline isn't developed in isolation. It's cultivated through the influence of others. Whether we realize it or not, the habits, attitudes, and values of those around us shape our own. The old saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," holds true, especially when it comes to discipline. If you want to strengthen your own discipline, you need to surround yourself with those who embody it. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized the importance of virtue, believed that we should be mindful of who we choose to associate with. He said, "If you wish to be a writer, associate with writers. If you wish to be a philosopher, associate with philosophers." The idea is simple. You become like those you spend time with. If your circle consists of people who lack self-retreat or who frequently give into distractions, their habits will seep into your own. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with disciplined, focused individuals, their behaviors, standards, and mindset will naturally influence you in positive ways. Think about your social environment. Are the people in your life helping you stay accountable to your goals? Are they pushing you to be your best self? Or are they pulling you away from the discipline you're trying to cultivate? If your friends or colleagues aren't aligned with your values, or if they encourage bad habits, it may be time to reassess your inner circle. Discipline is contagious, and if you want to strengthen yours, you need to be intentional about who you allow into your space. It's not just about cutting out negative influences. It's about actively seeking out people who inspire you to rise. This could mean finding a mentor who embodies the kind of discipline you admire, or joining communities where self-improvement is a priority. For example, if you're focused on fitness, find a workout group or online community that shares your commitment to health. If you're working on personal development, connect with individuals who prioritize growth, consistency, and mental toughness. When you immerse yourself in a community that values discipline, you not only gain inspiration, but also accountability. Being surrounded by others who are striving towards similar goals makes it harder to fall off track. Their commitment to their own journey reinforces your commitment to yours. And when you face challenges or doubts, these disciplined individuals can offer guidance, support, and the occasional push to keep going. Remember, discipline is a practice. It's easier to stay disciplined when you're in an environment that encourages it. So take a close look at your social circle. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to be your best, or are you being influenced by habits that undermine your goals? If it's the latter, it's time to seek out those who embody the discipline you want to develop. Seek out those who challenge you, who encourage you, and who hold you accountable. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your character and your discipline. Choose wisely. Number 9. Practice gratitude and celebrate wins. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about finding joy in the process and celebrating the small victories along the way. Too often we get caught in the pursuit of the next big goal, fixated on what's still left to achieve. But true discipline isn't about reaching an endpoint. It's about embracing the journey, acknowledging your progress, and finding gratitude in every step forward. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations often reflected on the importance of recognizing the abundance in life, even amidst hardship. He wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars and see yourself running with them." This simple act of focusing on the good, of acknowledging what you have rather than what you lack, shifts your perspective in profound ways. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, strengthening your resolve to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. Gratitude isn't just an emotional response, it's a powerful tool that supports your discipline. When you acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce the behaviors that got you there. Every step you take toward your goal deserves recognition. Discipline thrives when you celebrate the effort, not just the result. If you focus only on what you haven't accomplished yet, you risk burnout. But when you celebrate what you have done, you build momentum, boost your motivation, and increase your capacity to stay disciplined. Start by celebrating small victories. Did you stick to your workout routine this week? Did you manage to work on your project even when distractions were tempting? That's progress, and it deserves to be acknowledged. The more you celebrate, the more you affirm the positive habits that keep you moving forward. By shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's been achieved, you build a foundation of positive reinforcement that keeps discipline alive and thriving. To make this practice a habit, consider ending your day with gratitude. Take a moment each evening to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as being thankful for a productive day, for a moment of clarity, or even for the lessons learned from a challenge. By closing each day with gratitude, you end on a positive note, shifting your focus away from what you didn't accomplish and towards what you did. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine isn't just a feel-good practice. It's an essential part of maintaining discipline. It nurtures your spirit, reinforces your commitment to your goals, and reminds you that every small step is part of the bigger picture. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn? This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom: "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. No, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward, rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean. finding the balance between excess and efficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to one's self, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we're all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy, even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, these can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world, one act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Let's cherish this journey of introspection, for it is in knowing ourselves that we find the path to true fulfillment and joy. Each of these lessons from Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom. They are life hacks that can help us deal with stress, make better decisions, and find peace in chaos. Remember, it's not the challenges along the way that define us, but the strength we find in facing them, the wisdom we gather, and the compassion we share. Each step, each reflection, each act of kindness is a brushstroke in the masterpiece that is your life. In a world that often seems ruled by chaos and noise, there lies a powerful secret known by the ancient Stoics that can transform the way you experience life. It's not found in the clamor of the crowd, nor is it hidden in the relentless chase for fleeting pleasures. This secret is the art of mastering your own mind, a path to tranquility and strength that Stoicism teaches with elegant simplicity. Today, we're diving deep into this profound philosophy to uncover how the Stoic way of life can offer you not just peace, but also a clarity and resilience that stands unshaken, even in life's storms. Join me as we explore how to harness these timeless truths to steer through our modern world with the wisdom of the Stoics guiding every step. Whether you're battling daily stresses or seeking a deeper sense of fulfillment, understanding how to control your mind the Stoic way isn't just about coping with life, it's about thriving in it. If you appreciate what we're diving into here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this journey we're on together today. One of the most liberating teachings of Stoicism hinges on a simple yet profound idea. The only thing truly within our control is ourselves, our reactions, our emotions, and our thoughts. This principle encourages us to detach from the heavy weight of others' opinions. In our journey today, we delve into why letting go of what others think isn't just freeing, it's a strategic move towards mastering your own mind. Think about it. How often have you changed a decision, hesitated on a new venture, or even altered your appearance based on what you thought others might say or think? It's a common trap, one that can lead to a life driven by external validation rather than internal conviction. Stoicism teaches us to shift this focus. By anchoring our actions and thoughts in our own values, we strengthen our mental fortitude against the chaos of external judgments. Let's consider Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words are a call to focus on our own mental responses, rather than trying to control the uncontrollable. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to others, but rather that we prioritize our own judgment and peace of mind above external approval. This philosophy doesn't ask us to disregard feedback completely. Instead, it empowers us to choose which pieces of feedback are constructive and aligned with our deeper goals, and which are merely distractions. It's about cultivating a garden within, where the seeds of your thoughts are nurtured by your own values and convictions, not trampled by the judgments of others. Imagine the freedom of making choices without fearing criticism or seeking approval. You begin to live more authentically, guided by what truly matters to you. As you practice this Stoic approach, you'll find that not only does your dependence on external validation wane, but your confidence and inner peace swell. This isn't just about toughening up in the traditional sense. It's about cultivating an inner landscape where your emotions serve you rather than control you. This is where Stoicism offers invaluable insights. The Stoics didn't teach suppression of emotion, but rather the understanding and managing of emotions to enhance well-being and personal growth. Consider the Stoic practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities, a method championed by the philosopher Seneca. He argued that every challenge or hardship was a chance to practice virtues such as patience, courage, and temperance. By reframing our struggles as opportunities to develop strength, we transform our emotional response to them. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by adversity, we can approach it with a sense of purpose and use it as a stepping stone toward greater resilience. Another key aspect of cultivating emotional resilience is maintaining a perspective that aligns with reality. Epictetus taught that our distress comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. By adjusting our judgments and expectations to be more in line with reality, we reduce unnecessary suffering. For instance, if we accept that we can't control the actions of others, but can control our reactions, we're less likely to be upset by someone else's behavior. Emotional resilience also involves understanding that emotions themselves are not commands. Just because we feel angry, hurt, or anxious doesn't mean we are compelled to act on those feelings. This distance between feeling and action is critical. It gives us the time to choose our response. The Stoics called this the space in which we can exercise our reason and freedom. To enhance your emotional resilience, start by incorporating daily reflections. End each day by asking yourself, what went well? What challenges did I face? How did I respond? This practice of self-reflection reinforces your ability to apply Stoic principles in everyday life, gradually building your resilience. Now think about how you can apply them, not just in moments of crisis, but as part of your daily routine. Emotional resilience isn't built overnight, but with consistent practice and a Stoic mindset, you'll find yourself more prepared to handle whatever life throws your way, not just surviving your experiences, but thriving through them. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the profound recognition that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we perceive and react to these events. This is the true power of perception. Realizing that our reactions are molded not by the events themselves, but by the interpretations we attach to them. Imagine this: you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. You can perceive this situation as a disaster, a narrative that might lead to anger and frustration. Alternatively, you could see it as an opportunity to listen to a favorite podcast or audiobook, thus reclaiming the time and transforming a frustrating experience into an enjoyable one. The Stoic practice of perception management is about choosing the latter approach, actively deciding to view circumstances in a way that aligns with inner peace and wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This encapsulates the essence of Stoic thought on perception. It's a reminder that our peace of mind comes not from the events in our lives, but from our responses to them. By training ourselves to adopt more helpful perspectives, we gain a significant measure of control over our emotional well-being. Cultivating this skill begins with mindfulness and self-awareness. It involves observing our automatic thoughts and questioning their accuracy. Does this thought reflect reality? Is there another way to view the situation? This practice of questioning and reframing is a form of cognitive restructuring that can dramatically alter our emotional landscape. To integrate this into your daily life, start by identifying situations where your initial reaction might not be the most constructive. Experiment with reframing your thoughts to see the situation in a new light. This could be as simple as interpreting a critique at work not as an attack on your abilities, but as valuable feedback that can spur personal and professional growth. The power of perception is not about deceiving ourselves or ignoring reality. It's about adjusting our lens so that we can see life more clearly and respond to it in ways that align with our deepest values. By practicing this Stoic technique, you not only enhance your own resilience, but also your capacity for happiness and fulfillment. It's a transformative process, turning everyday challenges into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This doesn't merely mean taking more hikes or planting a garden, though those are fantastic ways to connect with nature. It's deeper. It's about recognizing and adhering to the natural laws of human behavior and the universe. The Stoics believed that every part of the cosmos, including humans, has a role to play, a purpose dictated by nature itself. For us, this means living a life of virtue in accordance with reason, which the Stoics considered the highest function of our nature. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about nature's interconnectedness in his personal writings. He saw each individual's actions as part of a larger symphony of the universe, where going against this natural order causes discord and unhappiness. In practical terms, living according to nature involves several key behaviors. First, it encourages the practice of self-reflection, to understand our place within the larger context of the world. This reflection leads to a profound understanding of what is within our control and what is not, helping us to live more harmoniously with the inevitable. For example, accepting that we cannot control other people's actions or the outcome of many situations, but we can control our reactions to them. Moreover, this Stoic principle teaches us to embrace simplicity and to find satisfaction in it. This could mean reducing our desires to align more closely with what is naturally necessary and sufficient for happiness. It asks us to question, are our pursuits and desires in line with our true nature, or are they artificially constructed by societal pressures? To cultivate a life according to nature, start small. Reflect each day on where you might be resisting natural flows in your life or where you might be forcing outcomes. Try to align more closely with the rhythm of your environment. Wake with the sun, eat seasonally, and listen more deeply to your body's needs and the needs of others around you. This approach isn't about relinquishing ambition or desire, but about harmonizing those drives with the natural order, ensuring they arise from true necessity and virtue rather than fleeting whims. Let's remember that to live according to nature is to embrace a life of harmony, simplicity, and virtue. It's about making peace with the world as it is, not as we wish it to be, and finding our unique and rightful place within it. As you move through your day, consider this Stoic wisdom and observe how it might transform your understanding of happiness and your place in the world. This is far more than just a method to control our urges or stick to a routine. It is about aligning our daily actions with our deeper values and virtues. Stoics believe that self-discipline isn't merely about personal gain, but about cultivating a life that is in harmony with reason and moral purpose. Seneca often discussed how self-discipline, or self-control, is essential to living a good life. He suggested that without it, we are slaves to our passions rather than rulers of our own minds. Imagine the power and freedom that come from being in complete control of your actions and decisions, no matter what temptations or immediate gratifications present themselves. This is the heart of Stoic self-discipline. In practice, self-discipline means making choices that reflect your values, even when they aren't the easiest or most immediately gratifying options available. For example, choosing to save money instead of spending it impulsively aligns with a value of financial security and independence. Similarly, deciding to wake up early to meditate or exercise before a busy day demonstrates a commitment to health and mindfulness, prioritizing long-term well-being over extra sleep. Moreover, the Stoics didn't see self-discipline as a solitary pursuit, but as something that benefited the community. By controlling our impulses and making reasoned decisions, we contribute to a more rational, calm, and considerate society. Each personal choice impacts those around us, whether we're aware of it or not. To incorporate more self-discipline into your life, start by identifying areas where your actions don't align with your values. Perhaps you value health but often skip workouts, or you value learning but watch too much uneducative TV. Once identified, set small, manageable goals to begin reshaping your habits. It could be as simple as reading for 30 minutes before bed instead of scrolling through your phone, or preparing a healthy meal instead of ordering takeout. Self-discipline in Stoicism is not about punishing oneself or living a life of denial, but about making reasoned choices that lead to true freedom and happiness. It's about being in control of your actions, and by extension, your life's direction. As you practice self-discipline, observe how it changes not just what you do, but how you feel about yourself and your place in the world. Remember, in the Stoic view, self-discipline is a form of self-respect. Every day that you live according to your principles, you honor yourself and the community to which you belong. It's about making consistent choices that build a resilient, fulfilling life, not just for yourself, but for all. The Stoics taught that the present is all we truly own, and mastering our focus on the now can lead to profound tranquility and effectiveness. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task with full attention, a practice he described as doing one thing at a time and resting in the simplicity of his actions. Imagine if, instead of multitasking frantically, you chose to do each task sequentially with full dedication. This focus not only increases productivity, but also imbues each moment with quality and purpose. Living in the present also means accepting each moment as it comes, without imposing our judgments or wishes on it. When we stop fighting reality, stop wishing for things to be different, and start responding to the actual demands of the now, we engage with life on a more genuine level. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It's an active acknowledgement that the only time we can truly influence is the present. To cultivate this skill, begin by noticing when your mind wanders into the past or future. Gently remind yourself to come back to the present. Practices like mindfulness meditation can be incredibly helpful in developing this skill. Just sitting quietly for a few minutes each day, observing your breath and watching thoughts come and go without attachment, can significantly increase your ability to stay centered in the current moment. Another practical tip is to engage fully with whatever you're doing. If you're eating, just eat. If you're walking, just walk. Fully immerse yourself in the sensations and activities of the present moment. This practice can transform mundane tasks into moments of deep life experience and joy. By embracing the present, you align yourself more closely with Stoic principles, enhancing your capacity to respond to life with equanimity and poise. Over time, this practice not only improves your mental well-being, but also deepens your relationships and your engagement with life, making each day richer and more fulfilling. Remember, life is a series of present moments. How we live each moment largely determines how we live our lives. One of the more profound but often overlooked aspects of Stoicism involves the concept of community. Marcus Aurelius himself saw humans as inherently social creatures, meant to live not in isolation, but in harmonious interaction with others. This idea underscores the Stoic belief that building or joining a community is not just a personal choice, but a moral imperative. Stoicism teaches that each person has something valuable to contribute to the collective, and in return, the community offers support, wisdom, and perspective that one cannot find when alone. Imagine the strength and resilience of a network where each individual acts with virtue and reason. Such a group could significantly amplify the positive impact on each member's life. In practical terms, actively participating in a community can mean various things. It might be as simple as joining a local group that shares your interests, or volunteering for causes that align with your values. In today's digital age, community can also extend to online forums and social media platforms, where Stoic principles are discussed and life challenges are navigated collectively. Participating in these communities allows for the exchange of ideas and provides a support system that can be crucial during tough times. It's about giving and receiving advice, sharing resources, or simply providing an empathetic ear. Every interaction offers a chance to practice Stoic virtues such as kindness, understanding, and patience. Furthermore, engaging in community life enhances our sense of belonging and purpose. It reinforces the Stoic idea that we are part of something larger than ourselves, which can be incredibly fulfilling. This doesn't mean losing your individuality. On the contrary, it's about expressing your unique virtues in ways that benefit others. To start building this aspect of your Stoic practice, look for communities that resonate with your interests. Attend local or virtual meetups, participate in community service, or start a discussion group about Stoicism and its application in modern life. Each step you take toward being part of a community not only enriches your life, but also strengthens the collective fabric, embodying the true Stoic spirit of living harmoniously within the human cosmopolis. In a world that never stops moving, where every moment is filled with noise, demands, and relentless pressure, finding true peace might seem like a distant dream. But what if I told you that tranquility isn't found in escaping your life, but in changing how you live it? This isn't about retreat. It's about transformation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed for modern chaos, teaches us not just to survive, but to thrive amidst life's storms by mastering the art of control. Control not over others, but over ourselves. Welcome to Stoic Journal, where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges. If you're ready to embrace Stoic strategies that will empower you to sail through life's turbulent waters with grace and resilience, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the core of Stoicism, exploring how this timeless wisdom can be more than just a philosophy. It can be a practical toolkit for living a richer, more resilient life. So, if you're looking to turn challenges into opportunities and cultivate a steadfast serenity that lasts, stay tuned. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of Stoicism and discover how to harness its power every single day. Join me in embracing a life where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone to personal growth and fulfillment. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support this journey into Stoicism, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And don't skip any part of the video. We've packed it with insights that unfold step by step, each one building on the last to transform your understanding and your life. When we dive into the teachings of Stoicism, one of the most powerful and life-changing principles we encounter is the concept of control. It's fascinating how this ancient philosophy, developed over 2 millennia ago, provides us with a tool so essential for our modern hectic lives. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet profound truth. Our true power lies not in extending our reach over the external world, but in mastering our own inner responses. This concept isn't about gaining control over others or the circumstances we find ourselves in. Rather, it's about understanding what is truly within our grasp, our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves feeling frustrated or upset over things we simply cannot change? Maybe it's the weather ruining our weekend plans or a friend running late to a meetup. Our natural inclination might be to let these external events disturb our peace. However, Stoicism invites us to shift our focus. Instead of ruminating on the uncontrollable, Stoicism encourages us to ask, what can I control in this situation? The answer is almost always related to our internal state, our mindset, our readiness to adapt, and our decision on how to respond. This principle of focusing on what we can control helps us build resilience against the chaos of everyday life. By anchoring our energy on our internal state, we create a kind of mental fortress that external circumstances cannot breach. For instance, when facing a traffic jam that makes us late for an important appointment, instead of stewing in anger and frustration, Stoicism teaches us to use that time to reflect, plan our day, or simply enjoy some music. This change in perspective doesn't alter the traffic, but it dramatically transforms our experience of it. Moreover, understanding control is about accepting the limits of our influence. This acceptance does not mean resignation, but rather a strategic redirection of our efforts toward areas where we can make a real impact. It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. While you can't control the storm, you have the authority over how you steer the ship and manage the crew. This metaphor encapsulates the Stoic approach, managing our ship, ourselves, with wisdom and integrity, regardless of the storm and challenges around us. Practicing this Stoic principle also means preparing ourselves for various outcomes. It teaches us to remain composed, not only when things go our way, but also when they don't. This level of detachment from outcomes is incredibly freeing. It allows us to engage in our activities with full effort and commitment, but without the heavy burden of needing certain outcomes for our happiness. This is what Stoics mean when they talk about selective indifference, caring deeply about our actions and efforts while being indifferent to the fluctuations of fortune. The Stoic understanding of control is a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety. It grounds us in the present and focuses us on the actionable, empowering us to live with intention and tranquility. By internalizing this lesson, we don't just cope with life's unpredictabilities, we thrive amidst them. We become proactive participants in our lives, choosing responses that align with our deepest values, rather than being reactive to every external stimulus. Embracing the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness, self-reflection, and regular practice. But the rewards, increased serenity, effectiveness, and a profound sense of empowerment, are well worth the effort. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's keep this foundational principle in mind. It's not just about reading and understanding Stoic philosophy, it's about living it, one controlled, thoughtful response at a time. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is not just a moral compass, but the very core of a fulfilling life. It's interesting how Stoicism aligns the pursuit of virtue with the pursuit of happiness, a concept that might seem counterintuitive in today's fast-paced world, where happiness is often equated with pleasure or success. But Stoics view it differently. For them, happiness isn't found in external achievements or material possessions, but in living a life of virtue. So, what exactly does virtue mean in Stoicism? It encompasses four main qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues plays a crucial role in how we navigate our lives. Wisdom involves the insightful understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Courage is about facing life's challenges with resilience and bravery. Justice relates to treating others with fairness and kindness. Temperance is the art of self-control and moderation. Together, these virtues form the Stoic ideal of a well-lived life. The Stoic pursuit of happiness through virtue is fundamentally different from the fleeting pleasures we often chase. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness is a state of inner peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you've lived well according to your own principles. This kind of happiness is stable and enduring. It doesn't evaporate when external conditions change, because it's based not on what happens to us, but on how we choose to respond. This approach to happiness is incredibly empowering. It suggests that regardless of our external circumstances, we have the capacity to cultivate happiness within ourselves by developing virtuous qualities. Think about the implications of that. It means that our emotional and psychological well-being doesn't have to be at the mercy of our surroundings or situations, which are often beyond our control. Instead, happiness becomes something we actively build through our choices and actions. Practicing Stoic virtue also means striving to be better each day. It's about personal growth and self-improvement. For instance, when we practice temperance, we learn to resist impulses that might lead to excess or harm. When we practice justice, we contribute positively to our communities, promoting a sense of goodwill and support. Each act of virtue not only enhances our own lives, but also touches the lives of others around us, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Moreover, the Stoic link between virtue and happiness teaches us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values. In a world where we are often pulled in different directions by conflicting desires and pressures, Stoicism offers a clear directive: focus on living virtuously. This simplifies decision-making and reduces the stress and anxiety associated with trying to please everyone or achieve perfection. It guides us to focus on being good, rather than merely feeling good or looking good. Embracing Stoic virtues isn't about suppressing emotions or denying pleasure. It's about finding a deeper, more meaningful kind of happiness that sustains us through life's ups and downs. It challenges us to look beyond immediate gratification and consider the long-term effects of our actions on our character and well-being. In practice, living a life of Stoic virtue can be challenging. It requires constant vigilance and effort. It asks us to be mindful of our actions and choices, to reflect regularly on our behavior, and to strive continually towards embodying the Stoic ideals. But the payoff is immense. As we align more closely with these virtues, we find that our lives are richer, our relationships are stronger, and our souls are calmer. So, as we journey through the teachings of Stoicism, let's keep in mind that virtue is the key to genuine, lasting happiness. It's not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one, filled with growth, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment. In the pursuit of Stoic happiness, every step we take in virtue is a step towards a more peaceful and meaningful life. One of the most compelling aspects of Stoicism is how it teaches us to reframe our perceptions to change our reality. This concept might sound a bit like modern psychology, and you'd be right to think there are parallels. Stoicism, however, takes this idea back thousands of years and integrates it into a broader philosophy that addresses how we can lead fulfilling lives by focusing on what we truly control. So, how does Stoicism help us reframe our perception? It starts with the premise that it's not the events themselves that upset us, but rather our opinions about them. For example, if you get caught in a rainstorm and feel miserable, it's not necessarily the rain that's causing your misery, it's your perception of the situation. Perhaps you see the rain as an annoyance rather than a natural occurrence that brings much-needed water to the earth. This shift in thinking, from seeing the rain as a personal inconvenience to viewing it as a beneficial ecological event, changes your emotional response to it. This Stoic principle of reframing perception is incredibly powerful because it puts us back in the driver's seat of our own emotions. Instead of being tossed around by external events, we get to choose our responses. This is done through what Stoics call the dichotomy of control, which is simply distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. We can't control the weather, the traffic, or other people's actions, but we can control our reactions to these things. Let's dive a bit deeper into how this works in practice. Imagine you're working on a project at work, and suddenly there's a change in project direction due to external factors beyond your control. You might initially feel frustrated or anxious about the changes and additional work. However, by applying Stoic thinking, you can reframe this situation. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as an opportunity to learn new skills or to demonstrate your flexibility and creativity. This doesn't just change how you feel about the situation, it changes the situation itself in terms of your experience of it. Moreover, this reframing of perception, according to Stoic principles, goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's about seeing the truth of a situation more clearly. It involves understanding the nature of the world as one of change and unpredictability, and then aligning our expectations and actions accordingly. This alignment reduces our disappointments and enhances our resilience, as we are no longer fighting against the inevitable flow of life, but moving with it. The practice of reframing perception also encourages us to focus on the present moment, instead of getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on the here and now, on what we are doing at this moment, and how we can do it with virtue. This focus is liberating because it narrows down the vast array of things that might concern us to the few things we can actually influence. Reframing perception and reality in Stoicism isn't just a coping mechanism, it's a transformative process that leads to true inner peace. By consistently applying this Stoic practice, we begin to see that many of the walls we face are ones we have built ourselves with our misconceptions and misplaced beliefs. Breaking down these walls doesn't just change our view of the world, it changes the world we live in. The Stoic practice of reframing our perceptions is about understanding the true nature of events, recognizing our power to choose our responses, and focusing our efforts on what we can actually influence. This approach doesn't just help us handle life's challenges more effectively, it empowers us to lead lives marked by calm, clarity, and purpose. As we continue to explore and apply these Stoic teachings, we find that the quality of our lives is not determined by external circumstances, but by the perceptions and choices we make. In Stoicism, one of the most profound and perhaps most challenging concepts is amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This isn't just about accepting whatever life throws at us. It's about embracing it with open arms, not just as an unavoidable reality, but as something beneficial and necessary for our growth. It's a powerful idea that turns potential adversity into a source of strength. How do we begin to not just accept but love our fate? It starts with understanding that everything that happens can be seen as an opportunity. Stoicism teaches us that our character is formed not through our experiences, but through our responses to those experiences. When we love our fate, we are essentially saying that we trust in the natural flow of life and believe there is value in whatever happens. This doesn't mean we desire or wish for suffering or hardship, but rather that we find peace and purpose in the inevitability of such experiences. The beauty of amor fati lies in its radical optimism. Instead of fighting against the currents of life, we learn to swim with them. This perspective doesn't come easily, of course. It requires a deep philosophical shift, a sort of mental rewiring that allows us to see the silver linings in dark clouds, without being naive or dismissive of the hardships. For example, if you lose a job, it's natural to feel upset and anxious. However, embracing amor fati would involve a shift in perspective, where you might see this event as an opportunity to pursue a path more aligned with your true passions, or to develop resilience and adaptability. Embracing amor fati also means letting go of bitterness and regret. Stoicism doesn't ask us to forget the past or ignore the pain. Instead, it encourages us to acknowledge our feelings, but not to allow them to control us. By loving our fate, we accept the past for what it is, a part of our journey that has led us to where we are now, contributing to who we have become. This acceptance frees us from the weight of past grievances, allowing us to move forward with a lighter spirit and a clearer mind. Moreover, amor fati is about finding joy in the journey itself, not just a destination. It's easy to think we'll be happy when we reach a certain milestone, when we get that job, when we buy that house, when we retire. But Stoicism teaches us that there's a profound joy available to us right here and now, in this very moment, if only we choose to see and embrace it. This doesn't mean we stop striving or becoming. It means we cherish the process as much as, if not more than, the outcomes. In practical terms, living with amor fati can start with small steps. It might mean taking a moment each day to reflect on something that didn't go as planned and finding something valuable in that experience. Perhaps it taught you a lesson, or maybe it strengthened a relationship through shared struggle. It could also involve more significant life changes, such as choosing a career path that feels true to your core values, even if it's less conventional or secure. Trusting that the challenges along the way will enrich your life's narrative. Amor fati enriches our lives by deepening our connection to the world and to ourselves. It helps us cultivate an inner resilience that acts as an anchor in the stormy seas of life. This love of fate doesn't make life easier, but it does make us stronger and more harmoniously aligned with the natural course of events. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's try to see amor fati not just as a philosophical concept, but as a daily practice, a way to embrace each moment, each challenge, and each joy that life offers. By doing so, we transform our relationship with life itself, turning every experience into a pathway to greater wisdom and peace. Embarking on the journey to Stoicism is like starting a profound adventure, one that invites us to explore deep insights into our lives and fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. It's not merely about learning a set of theories. It's about transforming those theories into everyday practices that strengthen our resilience, enhance our happiness, and deepen our understanding of life. The journey begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective, recognizing that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses to them. This realization is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's a liberating concept that frees us from feeling victimized by circumstances or other people's actions. Instead, it empowers us to take charge of our inner world. As we delve deeper into Stoicism, we learn to cultivate 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues is not just an abstract ideal, but a practical guide to living well. Wisdom teaches us to see things as they really are. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges head-on. Justice guides us to treat others fairly, and temperance helps us find balance in all things. Embracing these virtues in daily life can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Another key aspect of the Stoic journey is developing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. This practice helps us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and reactions. By observing ourselves without judgment, we can start to identify patterns that might lead us away from our Stoic ideals. For instance, we might notice that we tend to react impulsively when we're stressed, or that we hold on to grudges longer than is healthy. Awareness is the first step toward change. Practical exercises are also integral to this journey. One such exercise is the evening reflection, where we review our day and assess how well we lived up to our Stoic principles. Did we handle a stressful situation with composure? Did we treat everyone we encountered with fairness and kindness? These reflections not only help us learn from our experiences, but also reinforce our commitment to living a Stoic life. The journey to Stoicism also involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. This perspective shift is essential because it turns every obstacle into a teacher. When we face difficulties, instead of feeling defeated, we can ask ourselves, what can this situation teach me? This approach not only makes us more resilient, but also more open to learning and personal development. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to build a community or seek out like-minded individuals who are also on this path. Having a support system can be incredibly beneficial, as it provides us with encouragement, different perspectives, and companionship on our journey. Sharing experiences and challenges with others who understand and appreciate Stoic principles can enhance our own understanding and application of Stoicism. Finally, the journey to Stoicism is a lifelong pursuit. It's not about reaching a state of perfection, but about striving toward continuous improvement. It's about becoming more virtuous, more resilient, and more aligned with our true selves each day. As we progress, we'll find that the rewards of this philosophical path are not just about personal tranquility and resilience. They extend to improving our relationships with others and positively impacting the world around us. The journey to Stoicism is about growth and transformation. It challenges us to look inward, reassess our values, and align our actions with those values. It teaches us to be strong in the face of adversity and compassionate in our dealings with others. It's a path that not only enhances our own lives, but also has the potential to enrich the lives of everyone around us. Let's embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, ready to learn and grow in ways we might never have imagined. Integrating Stoicism into daily life is about much more than adopting a philosophical outlook. It's about transforming abstract Stoic principles into concrete actions and habits that enhance our everyday experiences. Practical Stoicism isn't just for times of crisis or philosophical reflection. It's for the ordinary moments, the everyday decisions, and the small challenges that shape our lives. The first step in practicing Stoicism daily is starting each day with intentionality. This means setting a few minutes aside each morning to contemplate the day ahead and remind ourselves of the Stoic virtues we aim to embody: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about asking ourselves how we can apply these virtues in the day's activities. For example, how will I exhibit temperance in my eating habits or spending? How can I practice courage in my workplace or personal challenges? This morning ritual sets a purposeful tone for the day, aligning our actions with our Stoic ideals. Throughout the day, practical Stoicism involves being mindful of our reactions to events and people. It's about observing our automatic responses and asking whether they align with Stoic principles. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, we pause and consider a more measured Stoic response. This might mean taking a deep breath and recalling the Stoic view that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control external events. This habit of pausing and choosing our response can transform our interactions and significantly reduce stress and conflict in our lives. Another key aspect of practical Stoicism is dealing with negative emotions effectively. Stoicism teaches us that negative emotions are often the result of mistaken judgments or excessive attachments to things beyond our control. When we feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, it's helpful to step back and analyze their source. Are we upset because of something outside our control? Are we placing too much importance on external validation or material success? By questioning the roots of our emotions and aligning our expectations with Stoic principles, we can regain our composure and perspective. Practical Stoicism also extends to how we handle interpersonal relationships. Stoics emphasize the importance of justice and kindness in dealing with others. This means practicing empathy, being fair in our judgments, and considering the common good in our decisions. It's about treating others with respect and understanding, even when we disagree or when others do not treat us as we'd hope. By embodying these virtues in our relationships, we not only live more stoically but also contribute to a more harmonious and supportive community. In our pursuit of personal growth, practical Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our day each evening. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about honest self-assessment. What did I do well today? Where could I have been more stoic? This practice of evening reflection helps solidify the day's lessons and prepares us to be even more virtuous and resilient tomorrow. It reinforces the Stoic commitment to continual improvement and helps us track our progress in living a Stoic life. Finally, practical Stoicism involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. This means viewing obstacles not as impediments but as chances to practice and strengthen our Stoic virtues. Whether it's a difficult project at work, a personal setback, or an unexpected change in plans, each challenge is a chance to apply Stoic wisdom and resilience. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, Stoicism becomes not just a philosophy we read about, but a vibrant, living guide. It influences how we think, how we react, how we relate to others, and how we understand the world. Through practical Stoicism, we don't just survive the vicissitudes of life, we thrive amidst them, finding deeper satisfaction and peace in our journey through life. As we close today's journey into the heart of Stoicism, remember that embracing this philosophy is about more than just understanding. It's about living. Each moment, each decision, and each challenge offers a new opportunity to practice resilience, wisdom, and virtue. By integrating Stoicism into our daily lives, we don't just change ourselves, we change our entire world, one thoughtful action at a time. Some of the most difficult battles we face are the ones inside our own minds. The battles against doubt, fear, frustration, and sometimes even despair. Life throws challenges at us, often without warning, and how we respond to these challenges can define everything. Now, picture this. What if you had a mindset so unshakable, so resilient, that no obstacle could truly stand in your way? That's the kind of strength the Stoics dedicated their lives to developing. A mindset that can overcome anything because it's grounded in the unbreakable principles of wisdom, courage, and self-control. Today, we're diving into the wisdom of the Stoics, not as some ancient philosophy locked in the past, but as a practical toolkit that's just as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. These are the lessons that have empowered people for centuries, from emperors to soldiers, and continue to guide millions. If you've ever felt like life is pulling you down, or if you're simply looking to build mental armor that can withstand any storm, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll have a blueprint for transforming your mindset, a way to build a mental fortress so that no matter what comes your way, you stand firm. So, if you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support the channel, a simple free favor you can do is hit that subscribe button and make sure not to skip any part of the video to fully grasp the transformative insights we're about to explore together. Let's get started. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to test your virtues, whether it's patience when you're stuck in traffic, resilience when you're dealing with loss, or courage when you're facing fears. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones on the path to self-mastery. Now let's get practical. How can we truly embrace challenges? It starts with perception. Instead of viewing difficulties as impediments, see them as instruments for personal development. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can this teach me? This shift in perspective isn't just about finding silver linings, but about forging a robust character that thrives under pressure. Moreover, embracing challenges means staying present and engaged, not detached or indifferent. It involves an active engagement with whatever life throws your way, handling it with a calm mind and a focus on what can be controlled. Remember, the goal of Stoicism is not to diminish your emotions, but to channel them in a way that serves you and your community better. This Stoic approach doesn't promise an easy life. Instead, it offers a meaningful one. By consistently applying these principles, you'll find that you're not only capable of withstanding adversity, but also capable of flourishing because of it. Every challenge becomes a chance to demonstrate virtue and build resilience. So next time you find yourself in a tough situation, remember, it's not just a hurdle, it's an invitation to grow stronger and wiser. This principle teaches us that true wealth comes not from external possessions, but from the richness of our ideas and the strength of our character. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from acquiring material wealth, which is transient and often beyond our control, to developing robust, transformative ideas that can endure and truly impact the world. Think about it. The most influential people throughout history were not necessarily those with the most financial wealth, but those who offered groundbreaking ideas that reshaped society. From the philosophical insights of Marcus Aurelius to the innovative visions of modern thinkers and leaders, the real currency they dealt with was ideas. So how can we harness this power in our own lives? It starts with nurturing a mindset that values creativity and critical thinking over mere consumption. Stoicism prompts us to ask ourselves, are we merely accumulating things that will fade, or are we developing insights that will last? This isn't to say that money and resources aren't important. They are tools that can be used wisely, but they shouldn't be the end goal. Our aim should be to create and contribute, to think deeply about problems, and to come up with solutions that do more than just serve ourselves. Moreover, embracing the Stoic value of ideas over wealth involves understanding that personal growth and societal contribution are far more rewarding than material success. This perspective not only enriches our own lives, but also makes us valuable to others by fostering a culture of thought leadership and innovation. We can inspire those around us to also look beyond the superficial trappings of wealth and consider the lasting impact of their thoughts and actions. In a world increasingly driven by materialism, the Stoic focus on ideas over wealth is a refreshing call to refocus on what truly matters. It challenges us to be thinkers, innovators, and philosophers in our own right, to build legacies of wisdom rather than just wealth. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions and actions, shaping our own destinies through deliberate choices and purposeful living. This is not about forging a path in defiance of the world, but rather crafting a life that aligns with our deepest values and virtues. So, how do we start creating our own path? It begins with self-awareness. Stoicism encourages us to examine our lives critically and to question societal norms that might not resonate with our inner truth. Are we following a career or lifestyle because it's what's expected of us, or because it genuinely fulfills us? By reflecting on these questions, we can begin to carve out a life path that truly reflects who we are and what we believe in. Once we have a clearer sense of direction, the next step is to take action. Creating your own path requires courage. The courage to make unconventional choices, to step away from the beaten track, and to withstand the uncertainty and criticism that might come with such decisions. Stoicism equips us with the mental fortitude to handle these challenges by reminding us that our worth is defined by our actions and character, not by external approval or success. Additionally, creating your own path means embracing the concept of lifelong learning and adaptation. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius were proponents of ongoing self-improvement and adaptability. They believed that a wise person is always prepared to adjust their course and learn from their experiences. This adaptable approach is crucial in a world that is constantly changing. It encourages us to remain open and responsive to new information and experiences, ensuring that our path remains relevant and aligned with our growth. Lastly, creating your own path isn't just about personal ambition. It's about contributing to society in a meaningful way. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond our individual desires and consider how our actions affect others. By choosing a path that contributes positively to those around us, we fulfill the Stoic ideal of living harmoniously within our community and the broader world. This interconnected perspective ensures that our path is not only self-fulfilling, but also socially responsible. Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. That means that everything that is alive will change, and even things that are not alive will change. Stoics understand that change is the only constant in life, and they teach us to embrace it, not just passively, but actively. They encourage us to mold and be molded by the changes that come our way, ensuring our growth and refinement through every experience. The Stoic approach to change is rooted in the dichotomy of control, a fundamental concept introduced by Epictetus. It reminds us to differentiate between what we can control, our actions, responses, and judgments, and what we cannot, such as the actions of others, the past, and much of the external world. By focusing our energy on our own sphere of influence, we become more effective and serene. This perspective equips us with a mental framework for adapting to change by reducing anxiety over the uncontrollable and empowering us to act where we can. Moreover, adapting to change means maintaining an internal steadiness despite external fluctuations. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, advised us to be like a rocky promontory against which the waves constantly break. It stands firm while the turmoil of the sea falls still around it. This image is a powerful metaphor for Stoic resilience, the ability to maintain composure and clarity of judgment no matter how stormy life gets. This stability doesn't come from rigidity but from a deep understanding of and engagement with the natural flow of life. Practically, adapting to change involves continual self-assessment and adjustment. Stoicism promotes an ongoing dialogue with oneself, a kind of internal audit on how we are responding to daily changes and challenges. Are we reacting emotionally or are we responding thoughtfully? Are our actions consistent with our values? This reflective practice not only helps in managing immediate changes, but also in anticipating and preparing for future ones. Adapting to change in a Stoic sense means viewing each new circumstance as an opportunity for development. Every change, whether perceived as positive or negative, brings lessons and chances to refine our virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. For instance, a sudden hardship might provide an opportunity to practice fortitude and compassion, while an unexpected success might test and strengthen our humility and generosity. This isn't about making rigid plans that resist change, but rather about setting a course guided by our deepest values and virtues, ensuring that each step we take is intentional and meaningful. The Stoics often spoke about the importance of living with a purpose that transcends daily fluctuations and distraction. They argued that without a clear long-term vision, we are at the mercy of external events and impulses, tossed about like a ship without a rudder. A well-defined vision acts as this rudder, helping us navigate life's complex waters with direction and foresight. In practical terms, developing a long-term vision involves reflecting on what truly matters to us, what we value most in life, what kind of person we wish to become, and how we can contribute to the world around us. This vision should be resilient, capable of adapting to changes without losing sight of the overarching goals. For example, you might envision yourself as a lifelong learner, committed to personal growth and the betterment of society. How this manifests might change with circumstances, perhaps through career shifts, evolving relationships, or changing social contexts, but the core vision remains constant. Moreover, a Stoic approach to long-term vision involves preparing mentally for both success and setbacks. It teaches us to anticipate obstacles and view them as natural parts of the journey. This preparation is not pessimistic, but rather a form of realistic optimism. By considering potential challenges and visualizing how to handle them, we strengthen our resolve and flexibility, making us better equipped to persist toward our vision, no matter what life throws our way. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of aligning our vision with actions that are under our control. It's not enough to simply dream or plan. We must also take concrete, consistent steps toward realizing our vision. This means setting manageable goals, reflecting on our daily habits, and continuously adjusting our strategies to stay aligned with our long-term aspirations. Each small action should be seen as a building block toward a larger purpose, imbued with meaning and direction. Developing a long-term vision, in a Stoic sense, means embracing the journey as much as the destination. The true value of this vision lies not just in achieving specific goals, but in the growth and insights we gain along the way. Stoicism teaches us to value each moment and challenge as part of our overall development, reminding us that the path to fulfilling our vision is just as important as the end result. This introspective practice isn't just about self-improvement in a conventional sense. It's about cultivating a deep understanding of our thoughts, behaviors, and the motives behind them, aiming to align our actions with the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stoicism teaches us to turn inward and examine our responses to the world. This self-examination is a critical tool for personal growth, as it allows us to identify areas where our perceptions or actions may not align with our ethical standards or desired outcomes. It involves asking ourselves challenging questions. Why did I react that way? What can this emotion teach me? How can I respond better in the future? This level of inquiry helps us not only understand ourselves better, but also facilitates greater control over our reactions and emotions. Furthermore, the Stoic practice of self-reflection includes a technique known as the evening review, where the day's events are replayed in the mind, not to dwell on them, but to evaluate and learn from them. This practice encourages a kind of daily mental cleanup, ensuring that we remain vigilant and conscious of our progress toward our personal goals. It helps cement the day's lessons and prepares us to face tomorrow with a clearer, more focused mind. In terms of personal growth, Stoicism promotes the idea that we should strive to be better than we were yesterday, rather than better than someone else. This philosophy teaches that comparison with others is a distraction and often a source of dissatisfaction. Instead, by focusing on our own path and progress, this inward focus fosters not only self-improvement but also self-acceptance, acknowledging that while perfection is unattainable, continuous improvement is both achievable and deeply fulfilling. Additionally, Stoicism doesn't shy away from the discomfort that often accompanies growth. It acknowledges that real growth can be challenging and uncomfortable, as it requires us to confront truths about ourselves that we may prefer to ignore. However, it also reassures us that this discomfort is a natural part of developing virtue and character. Each challenge and every discomfort is an opportunity to practice Stoic virtues, strengthen our resolve, and enhance our capacity for compassion and understanding. Personal growth and self-reflection in a Stoic context mean living consciously, deliberately, and ethically. They involve a continuous dialogue between our inner selves and the external world, allowing us to navigate life not as passive recipients of our circumstances but as active ethical participants, shaping our lives with intention and integrity. Every hardship presents an opportunity to practice virtues like patience, endurance, and resilience. For instance, when we face a personal setback, we are given a chance to practice perseverance. When we encounter injustice, we have an opportunity to cultivate fortitude and advocate for fairness. The Stoics saw these moments as exercises, much like a runner uses hills to build strength. It's not about seeking out adversity, but when it inevitably appears, it's about responding in a way that aligns with our principles and enhances our character. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't advocate for a passive acceptance of all adversity. Instead, it promotes an active engagement with life's challenges. This involves asking ourselves how we can use an adverse situation to our advantage or to the benefit of others. Can a tough situation teach us something valuable about ourselves? Can we find a way to turn a personal struggle into a source of inspiration for others? By actively seeking the value in adversity, we transform our struggles into lessons and our trials into triumphs. Self-reflection plays a critical role in this process. Stoics regularly engage in practices such as meditation and journaling to reflect on their experiences, including their encounters with adversity. This isn't about ruminating over what went wrong, but about extracting actionable insights that can lead to personal improvement and better outcomes in the future. This reflective process helps internalize the lessons learned from adversity, ensuring that each challenge faced contributes to a deeper understanding and a more resilient self. Moreover, utilizing adversity involves embracing a certain level of detachment from external conditions. Stoics strive to maintain inner tranquility regardless of external circumstances by focusing on what they can control, their responses and their attitudes. This detachment doesn't mean not caring about outcomes. Rather, it's about not being emotionally overwhelmed by them. It allows us to face life's ups and downs with equanimity and act according to our values, regardless of the situation. Utilizing adversity in a Stoic sense means transforming every challenge into a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and a more virtuous life. It encourages us to not only survive our struggles, but to use them as fuel for our philosophical journey, enhancing our ability to live a fulfilling and impactful life. In doing so, we not only better ourselves, but also potentially provide a beacon of hope and strength for others facing their own adversities. Leadership and influence are not about wielding power over others, but about leading by example and inspiring those around you with your virtue and integrity. Stoicism teaches that true leaders are those who govern their own lives with wisdom and justice, and whose actions encourage others to do the same. This approach to leadership emphasizes personal character and ethical behavior as the foundation of genuine influence. In Stoic thought, leadership starts with self-mastery. Before one can effectively lead others, one must be in command of oneself. This means practicing self-discipline, managing one's emotions, and making decisions that reflect a commitment to the common good rather than personal gain. It involves cultivating virtues like courage, temperance, prudence, and justice. A Stoic leader models these virtues, demonstrating through their own behavior how to live a good life. Their influence, therefore, is not enforced through authority, but naturally radiates out, compelling others by the example they set. Moreover, Stoicism holds that effective leadership is about contributing to the well-being of others and the community as a whole. It's about service rather than status. This perspective encourages leaders to focus on how they can help others grow and succeed, fostering an environment where the team or community can thrive. By prioritizing the needs and welfare of others, Stoic leaders build trust and loyalty, which are essential for any influential. Communication also plays a critical role in Stoic leadership. A Stoic leader communicates clearly, honestly, and with the intent to enlighten and improve the situations they are involved in. They listen attentively, seek to understand different perspectives, and respond thoughtfully. This open and respectful communication style not only helps in resolving conflicts and finding common ground, but also strengthens the leader's influence by establishing them as fair and reliable. Another important aspect of leadership in Stoicism is adaptability, the ability to remain steady in the face of change and uncertainty. Stoic leaders recognize that they cannot control all external events, but they can always control their responses. This resilience enables them to guide others through crises and challenges with calmness and clarity, providing a stable anchor for their team or community. Stoic leadership involves lifelong learning and reflection. Stoic leaders are committed to their own personal growth and are continually seeking knowledge and wisdom that can enhance their leadership skills and ethical understanding. They are reflective about their actions and open to feedback, always looking for ways to improve and better serve their community. This is an essential part of Stoic practice, allowing you to pause, assess, and recalibrate your path according to the principles and values you hold dear. It's about looking back, not just to reminisce or regret, but to understand and learn. This introspective process is crucial because it helps you appreciate the distance you've traveled, acknowledge the lessons learned, and use that knowledge to shape a more purposeful future. Stoicism teaches us to view life as a series of opportunities for growth. Every experience, whether deemed successful or fraught with challenges, carries with it valuable lessons. By reflecting on these experiences, we engage in a thoughtful analysis of our actions and decisions, discerning whether they align with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This isn't about judging ourselves harshly, but about approaching our past with a compassionate and constructive mindset that is keen on continuous improvement. In this reflection, consider the times when you faced adversity. How did you respond? Did you react with frustration and anger, or did you find a way to remain composed and make reasoned decisions? Each instance provides insight into your character and resilience, offering clues on areas where you might strengthen your Stoic practice. Similarly, reflect on your moments of joy and success. These too can teach you about who you are and what matters most to you, reinforcing your commitment to those values. Furthermore, reflecting on your journey involves acknowledging the transient nature of life, a key Stoic concept. Everything, our successes, failures, joys, and sorrows, is temporary and must be appreciated in the moment, yet held loosely as we move forward. This awareness fosters a deep sense of gratitude for the present and a readiness to face the future, no matter what it may bring, with open arms and a willing heart. Finally, sharing your reflections can be incredibly powerful, not just for your own growth, but also as a way to influence and inspire others. By discussing your journey, you contribute to a broader dialogue about how to live a good life, encouraging others to reflect on their own paths and perhaps discover the Stoic way for themselves. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others. as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control, your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes, and nothing lasts forever, is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So, when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience. From a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-gratrobe allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-gratrobe is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-gratrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. We all experience those moments when negative thoughts start creeping in, planting seeds of doubt and insecurity in our minds. The nagging voice that questions our abilities, worth, and decisions can be incredibly disruptive, impacting all aspects of our lives. If left unchecked, these mental patterns can spiral into anxiety, lack of motivation, and even depression. I know this struggle all too well. There were times when I felt consumed by negative self-talk and crippling self-doubt. It was a constant battle to silence the inner critic and regain my confidence. But then, I discovered the profound teachings of Stoicism. This ancient Greek philosophy provided me with powerful strategies to overcome these challenges. As Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely stated, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This realization was transformative for me. I began to understand that my negative thoughts were not facts, but mere interpretations, and that I had the power to change them. So, what is the purpose of our journey today? It is to share the timeless Stoic principles that will help you deal effectively with negative thoughts and self-doubt. By the end of this exploration, you will be equipped with practical tools and insights to confront these inner battles head-on, reclaiming your inner peace and confidence. But this is not a passive experience. Stay engaged, reflect on these lessons, and actively apply them daily. True transformation occurs through knowledge, consistent action, and practice. With that, let us begin our exploration of the Stoic way of overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, guided by the wise words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Understanding negative thoughts and self-doubt, we must first understand their nature and impact to effectively deal with negative thoughts and self-doubt. As Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wisely stated, "It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things." Negative thoughts are not inherently bad or wrong. Our minds create interpretations based on our experiences, beliefs, and conditioning. However, when left unchecked, these thoughts can spiral, distorting our perception of reality and undermining our sense of self-worth. For instance, consider a situation where you made a mistake at work. A negative thought might arise, such as, "I'm so incompetent, I'll never succeed in this job." This thought, however, is not a fact, but a judgment colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The impact of such negative self-talk can be far-reaching. It can affect our motivation, decision-making, and overall well-being. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Persistent negative thoughts can drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and even influence our physical health. Now, let's engage in a brief exercise. Take a moment to reflect on a recent negative thought or moment of self-doubt that you experienced. Please write it down or make a mental note of it. We will revisit this later in our exploration. Understanding the nature and potential consequences of negative thoughts enables us to approach them more objectively. We can recognize them as mere interpretations, not absolute truths, and work towards reframing them more constructively. Remember, as Epictetus taught, it is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. With this awareness, we can break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt, paving the way for a more empowered and fulfilling life. Changing your perspective. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the idea that our thoughts shape our reality. Epictetus wisely stated, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This profound insight holds the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt. By changing our perspective, we can transform our experience. Let's revisit the example from the previous chapter, where you made a mistake at work and a negative thought arose, labeling you as incompetent and doubting your ability to succeed. This thought is not a fact, but a subjective interpretation colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The Stoics would encourage us to reframe this thought by adopting a more objective and rational perspective. Instead of criticizing ourselves, we could view the mistake as a learning opportunity to identify areas for improvement and growth. We could remind ourselves that mistakes are an inevitable part of the human experience, and that even the most accomplished individuals have faced setbacks and failures throughout their journeys. By reframing our perspective, we can transform a negative thought into a constructive one, shifting our mindset from self-doubt to self-compassion and resilience. But the Stoics didn't just preach theoretical ideas. They offered practical wisdom rooted in real-life examples. One such example comes from the life of Seneca, the famous Stoic philosopher and advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero. In one of his letters, Seneca recounts a story of a friend deeply troubled by a nightmarish vision he had experienced. Seneca advised his friend to focus on reality rather than being consumed by his imagination, saying, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Like Seneca's friend, we often allow our negative thoughts and fears to spiral out of control, creating imagined scenarios that cause unnecessary suffering. By grounding ourselves in reality and adopting a more objective perspective, we can break free from the grip of these distorted thoughts. Here's a practical step-by-step guide to help you reframe a negative thought. Identify the negative thought or self-doubt. Write it down or make a mental note. Examine the evidence. Is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Are there alternative perspectives you still need to consider? Challenge the thought. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Or, would I say this to a loved one in a similar situation? Reframe the thought. Replace the negative thought with a more constructive, rational interpretation that aligns with your values and goals. Repeat the reframed thought. Reinforce the new perspective by repeating it to yourself or writing it down. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. By actively practicing reframing our perspective, we can gradually rewire our thought patterns, cultivating a more resilient and empowered mindset. It takes consistent effort, but the rewards are immense. A greater sense of inner peace, self-confidence, and ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Focus on what you can control. One of the core tenets of Stoic philosophy is the principle of focusing our energy and attention on what we can control, rather than wasting time and energy agonizing over things beyond our influence. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is compelling when dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. While we cannot always control the initial thoughts that arise, we can control how we respond to them. Do we allow them to spiral, fueling our self-doubt and anxiety, or do we consciously shift our focus to what is within our control? Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you've been passed over for a promotion at work, and feelings of self-doubt and negative thoughts begin to surface. I'm not good enough. I'll never advance in this company. I'm a failure. While it's understandable to feel disappointed, dwelling on these negative thoughts and ruminating over the situation will only breed more negativity and disempowerment. Instead, the Stoic approach would focus on what you can control: your reaction, your mindset, and your next steps. You might reframe the situation by acknowledging that while the outcome was not what you hoped for, it does not define your worth or capability. You can respond with resilience, using the experience as motivation to identify areas for growth and development. Additionally, you can focus on what is within your control, such as updating your skills, seeking feedback from mentors, or exploring new opportunities within or outside the company. This principle is exemplified in Epictetus' life. Born into slavery, he faced numerous challenges and adversities beyond his control. However, he focused his energy on what was within his power: his mindset, actions, and response to circumstances. In one of his famous teachings, Epictetus emphasized, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." By embracing this wisdom, we can avoid becoming consumed by negative thoughts and self-doubt from situations we cannot control. Instead, we can focus on our sphere of influence, taking constructive action and maintaining a positive, empowered mindset. To put this principle into practice, I invite you to pause and reflect on a current worry or concern causing you distress. Identify the aspects of the situation within your control and separate them from the factors beyond your influence. By consciously shifting your focus to what you can control, you'll find it easier to let go of negative thoughts and self-doubt surrounding the uncontrollable elements. This simple yet profound practice can cultivate inner peace, resilience, and empowerment in facing life's challenges. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, you can reclaim your power and navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. Building resilience through Stoic practices. Thus far, we've discussed powerful Stoic principles for reframing negative thoughts, focusing on what's within our control, and cultivating an empowered mindset. However, the Stoics understood that lasting inner transformation requires more than intellectual understanding. It demands consistent practice and the cultivation of specific mental habits. One such practice is the Stoic concept of negative visualization, which may seem counterintuitive at first glance. As Epictetus wisely stated, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time." Negative visualization involves contemplating potential adverse scenarios or misfortunes that could befall us. It may sound like a recipe for pessimism, but the Stoics saw it as a tool to cultivate gratitude, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. By mentally preparing for challenges and setbacks, we become less shocked and overwhelmed when they inevitably occur. Additionally, it helps us cherish the good things rather than take them for granted. Let's engage in a brief exercise to experience the power of this practice. Close your eyes and imagine losing something truly valuable to you, a possession, a relationship, or even your health. Allow yourself to feel the weight of that potential loss. Fully notice how this exercise can heighten your gratitude for what you currently have and instill a sense of humble appreciation for the temporary nature of all things. The Stoics understood that by regularly practicing negative visualization, we could develop a kind of emotional immunity, a resilience that allows us to weather life's storms with poise and grace. Marcus Aurelius, the mighty Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, embodied this principle. Despite facing numerous personal losses and challenges, including the untimely deaths of several children and a devastating plague that ravaged his empire, Marcus Aurelius maintained his composure. He continued to govern with wisdom and compassion. He wrote in his famous Meditations, "How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life." By embracing the Stoic practice of negative visualization, Marcus Aurelius cultivated a profound sense of resilience and acceptance, allowing him to navigate even the most harrowing circumstances with grace and poise. As we continue our journey toward overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, practices like negative visualization can serve as powerful tools to fortify our mental and emotional resilience. By regularly reminding ourselves of the impermanence of all things and mentally preparing for potential adversity, we can cultivate a sense of humble gratitude and develop the inner strength to face life's challenges with courage and wisdom. Remember, as Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. Building resilience is a gradual process that requires consistent practice and dedication, but by embracing Stoic practices we can steadily cultivate the inner resources to overcome negative thoughts, self-doubt, and any obstacles that may arise. Surrounding yourself with positivity, while the Stoic teachings emphasize cultivating inner resilience and self-mastery, the ancient philosophers recognized the profound impact our social environment has on our mental and emotional well-being. As Epictetus wisely advised, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The people we surround ourselves with can either fuel our negative thought patterns and self-doubt, or inspire us to rise above them. Their words, attitudes, and energy can drag us down or elevate us to new heights of confidence and self-assurance. Think about the individuals in your life who consistently radiate positivity, encouragement, and belief in your potential. Perhaps it's a close friend, a mentor, or a family member who has consistently supported and uplifted you, even during your darkest moments of self-doubt. Now, contrast that with the people in your life who seem to perpetuate your negative thought patterns. They might be quick to criticize, doubt your abilities, or project their insecurities onto you. The Stoics understood that limiting exposure to negative influences and intentionally cultivating uplifting relationships could profoundly impact our mental and emotional state. Consider the example of Monkey D. Luffy from the anime One Piece. Luffy's journey to becoming the Pirate King is significantly influenced by the positive and supportive friends he surrounds himself with. Early in his quest, Luffy gathers a diverse crew of individuals who believe in his dream and support him through every challenge and setback. Characters like Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and Chopper contribute their strengths and unwavering belief in Luffy, encouraging him to persevere despite overwhelming odds. Their support and friendship help Luffy stay resilient and inspire each other to grow and reach their potential. By intentionally curating his crew, Luffy creates an environment that nurtures confidence, resilience, and determination, ultimately propelling him toward his dream of finding the One Piece and becoming the Pirate King. On the other hand, imagine the path of someone who remains entrenched in a toxic social environment. Constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and doubt, it becomes increasingly challenging for them to break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt when those patterns are continuously reinforced by their social influences. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom to our own lives? Here are some practical tips. Evaluate your current social circle. Identify the individuals who uplift and encourage you, as well as those who perpetuate negative thought patterns. Gradually limit exposure to toxic influences while nurturing and prioritizing relationships with positive, supportive people. Seek out communities, groups, or mentors aligned with your values and goals, as they can provide a powerful source of inspiration and motivation. Be mindful of the energy you bring to your relationships. Strive to positively influence others, just as you seek positivity from them. Remember, as Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. By intentionally surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we create an environment conducive to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt and embracing our full potential. It's a journey that requires conscious effort and discernment, but the rewards are invaluable. A greater sense of confidence, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with the support and encouragement of those who believe in us. Gratitude and contentment. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies a profound understanding of the power of gratitude and contentment. These principles serve as potent antidotes to the negative thought patterns and self-doubt that can quickly consume us in our modern, fast-paced lives. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." These words encapsulate the essence of gratitude, the practice of actively appreciating and savoring the blessings we already possess, rather than constantly yearning for more. By cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus away from perceived deficiencies and scarcity and instead embrace the abundance surrounding us. Imagine the weight lifted from your shoulders if you genuinely appreciate and feel grateful for all the positive aspects of your life, rather than fixating on what you lack or wish you had. The Stoics understood that this shift in perspective could profoundly impact our mental and emotional well-being. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he wrote, "It is in no man's power to have whatever he wants, but he has it in his power not to wish for what he hasn't got, and cheerfully make the most of the things that do come his way." These words remind us that true contentment does not come from constantly acquiring more, but from cultivating a sense of sufficiency and appreciating what we already have. By embracing this mindset, we can break free from the endless desire and dissatisfaction that fuels so much of our negative self-talk and self-doubt. To put this into practice, let's engage in a brief gratitude exercise. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, consider 3 aspects of your life that you are truly grateful for. Perhaps your health, a loving relationship, or a cherished memory. Allow yourself to fully savor and appreciate these blessings, feeling the warmth of gratitude spread through your being. As you open your eyes, notice the subtle shift in your perspective. Do you feel lighter, more present, and less burdened by negative thoughts or self-doubt? This is the transformative power of gratitude and contentment. Acceptance and letting go, Epictetus wisely advised. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. These words highlight a profound truth. Much of our suffering and negative thought patterns stem from our resistance to how things are and our attachment to how we believe they should be. By accepting reality as it unfolds, without judgment or resistance, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and freedom from negative thoughts and self-doubt. Consider the example of a student who has worked tirelessly to prepare for a critical exam, only to receive a disappointing result. Suppose they cling to the expectation of a different outcome. In that case, they will likely spiral into a cycle of negative self-talk, doubt, and rumination. However, if they embrace the Stoic principle of acceptance, they can acknowledge the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. They can redirect their energy toward constructive next steps rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. This principle was embodied by Marcus Aurelius, who faced numerous challenges and adversities during his reign as Roman emperor. In his famous Meditations, he wrote, "How ridiculous and strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life." These words reflect a deep understanding of the impermanence and unpredictability of life, a recognition that resistance and clinging to expectations only breeds suffering. By accepting the ebb and flow of circumstances with equanimity, Marcus Aurelius navigated even the most tumultuous times with grace and wisdom. The Stoics understood that true freedom lies in letting go of our resistance and accepting what is, rather than constantly battling against reality. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear." Consider a situation you have resisted or struggled to accept. To put this principle into practice, take a few deep breaths and consciously let go of your resistance, embracing the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. Notice how this simple acceptance can alleviate the burden of negative thoughts and self-doubt. By releasing the need to control or change the uncontrollable, you create space for inner peace, clarity, and the ability to respond with wisdom and equanimity. By embracing the Stoic practices of acceptance and letting go, we can cultivate the inner freedom to navigate life's challenges with resilience, grace, and a profound sense of inner peace. Self-reflection and growth. While the Stoic teachings provide potent tools for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt in the present moment, these ancient philosophers understood that lasting transformation requires a more profound commitment to self-reflection and personal growth. As Epictetus wisely advised, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your failings. He will grow better for being reproved, and you better yourself by this wholesome exercise. These words highlight the profound value of self-reflection, the practice of turning our gaze inward, examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with honesty and courage. Through this process, we can identify areas for growth, confront our blind spots, and cultivate the self-awareness necessary for lasting personal development. Imagine for a moment a scenario where you made a mistake or experienced a setback that triggered a wave of negative self-talk and self-doubt. Instead of wallowing in these thoughts or projecting blame onto external factors, the Stoic approach would be to engage in radical self-reflection. Ask yourself probing questions. What role did my own actions or assumptions play in this outcome? What lessons can I learn from this experience? How can I approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience in the future? By adopting this mindset of self-reflection and growth, we shift our perspective from self-criticism and stagnation to empowerment and continuous improvement. The Stoics understood that personal growth is not a linear journey, but a cyclical process of self-reflection, learning, and implementation. It requires a willingness to confront our shortcomings and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth rather than sources of self-doubt and negativity. One powerful example of this principle in action is the life story of Epictetus himself. Born into slavery and subjected to numerous hardships, Epictetus could have easily succumbed to bitterness, resentment, and self-pity. However, he chose a path of radical self-reflection and personal growth. Through his unwavering commitment to examining his thoughts, beliefs, and actions, Epictetus developed a profound understanding of the human condition and the path to inner freedom. His teachings have resonated for centuries and serve as a testament to the transformative power of self-reflection and growth. To cultivate this practice in your life, start by setting aside dedicated time for self-reflection, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply creating space for quiet contemplation. During these moments, ask yourself probing questions about your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and approach your self-inquiry with curiosity and compassion. When you inevitably encounter moments of failure, setbacks, or negative self-talk, use them as opportunities for growth. Resist the urge to indulge in self-criticism or blame. Instead, turn your attention inward. Explore the lessons to be learned, the blind spots to be illuminated, and the steps to approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience. Remember, as Epictetus taught, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. By committing to the Stoic practice of self-reflection and growth, you unlock the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt from the inside out. It is a journey that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront your limitations with humility, but the rewards are immeasurable. A more profound sense of self-awareness, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Stoic quotes about negative thoughts and self-doubt. The ancient Stoic philosophers left us a treasure trove of wisdom for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. Let's explore some of their most powerful insights. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Our thoughts shape our reality. By changing our thoughts, we can change our experience of life. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Our suffering comes not from external events, but from our judgments about them, which we can change. How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life. Marcus Aurelius. There is no need to be shocked or disturbed by life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. Acceptance is key. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Our persistent thoughts profoundly influence our state of being. Negative thoughts breed negativity. It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. Epictetus. Events themselves are neutral. Our interpretations cause us distress or inner peace. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Epictetus. Happiness comes from focusing our energy on what we can control, not the uncontrollable. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. We cannot always control circumstances, but we can control our responses to them. Men are disturbed, not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Epictetus. Our perspective, not external events, is the true source of our inner turmoil or peace. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Epictetus. Acceptance, not resistance, is the path to tranquility. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Our pessimistic forecasts often cause more suffering than reality itself. Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear. Marcus Aurelius. We have the innate resilience to withstand whatever life brings our way. Remove the judgment, and you have removed the thought, I am hurt, and the hurt itself is gone. Marcus Aurelius. It is our judgments that create our suffering, not circumstances themselves. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them. Seneca. These words encapsulate the essence of the Stoic approach, the recognition that true freedom and fulfillment arise not from external circumstances or possessions, but from the cultivation of our inner resources, resilience, and alignment with our deepest values. Internalizing these Stoic teachings allows us to rewire our minds, question our negative thought patterns, and cultivate a more resilient, empowered mindset. The path to overcoming self-doubt lies in changing our perspectives and reactions, not controlling the uncontrollable. Remember, the journey toward overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt is not a destination, but a continuous practice, a lifelong commitment to personal growth, self-reflection, and the pursuit of a life well lived.